It's Howard. Howard Sperm.
A little bit late, Mitch. I do. Do you remember Abu Nadal? He's the guy who built the first air-conditioned mall. I want to show you I'm as dumb as doggy do. Do you remember? Ahmed Tarzan. I believe he was on the cover of the TV Guide. I want to show you that I'm as dumb as doggy do. Now follow me with loyalty. As I sit at the right hand of God. Do you remember that Moisture Diane? Yeah, she bought a razor from Victor Cayenne. And I want to show you that I'm as dumb as doggy doo-doo.
Absolutely.
Oh!
10:48 at 560 WQM. Boy, we got a lot of fish to fry today. We only got about 3 hours to do it within.
Yeah.
Celebrity deaths, we got 2 of them. We got Stern goes to get Sirius, and we got the debate last night. Quite frankly, the debate, I think, is pales into insignificance compared to all the others.
Right.
We are taking a little flash poll on there, which we'd have probably over 1,000 votes already, except for the fact that Eric just continues being a fat bozo who can't get his act together up there in Orlando, and as a result, the poll didn't go on right after the debate. But then again, there's so many other polls. For example, the MSNBC poll got almost 1.6 million votes. 60% said Edwards won the debate, 40% said Cheney. CNN, for whatever reason, they took theirs off their website, but at the time I looked at it, it was about like 70-30 for Edwards, which I found shocking. And ABC, well, we'll get to all of that. Our poll's being freaked, by the way. Most of the morning, Edwards was about 50%. See, the correct answer on our poll today is it was coma-inducing. That's the correct answer. It was really a non-event. Embarrassing, pathetic, sad. And at one point there at about, I would say about 10:20, Cheney put his head in his hands, like kind of rested his chin on his hands, and I thought he was going to actually slump right over, face down on the table at that point.
Well, maybe the batteries were winding down.
The coma nature on both sides of the entire proceeding. Nobody really cares about the vice president, even though we should care about Cheney because he's the biggest crook in the world, and we should care about Edwards because, what's his story? But anyway, we don't. Rodney Dangerfield dead at 82.
Oi!
Rodney Dangerfield, the bug-eyed comic whose self-deprecating one-liners brought him stardom in clubs, TV, and movies and made his lament, "I don't get no respect," a catchphrase, died yesterday. He was 82. Dangerfield, who fell into a coma. Well, maybe he was watching that debate. After undergoing heart surgery, died at 1:20 yesterday afternoon. Maybe he had a premonition about the debate, said publicist Kevin Sasaki. Dangerfield had a heart valve replaced August 25 at the University of California, L.A. Medical Center. Sasaki said in a statement that Dangerfield suffered a small stroke after the operation and developed infectious and abdominal complications, but in the past week he'd emerged from the coma. When Rodney emerged, he kissed me, squeezed my hand, and smiled for his doctors, Dangerfield's wife Joan said in a statement. The comic is also survived by 2 children from a previous marriage. Yada, yada. So Rodney Dangerfield's gone. He'll be missed. We like Rodney. And if he'd have smoked a little bit more of that good stuff, maybe he might have lasted a few more years. Also, and you don't probably even know about this, Hollywood astrologer Joyce Jillson dies.
Who?
Now, are you serious?
She died?
Right. Joyce Jillson, she'd be dead. Now, are we doing both breaks this hour? I guess we're not.
No, we're not.
Oh, okay.
We got a weak break, followed by a strong break.
Oh, I see. We can't catch a break. As the official astrologer for 20th Century Fox Studios, Joyce Jillson consulted the best opening days for movies, including 1977's Star Wars, one of the highest-grossing movies of all time. Jillson, author of a nationally syndicated astrology column, who also divined the stars on behalf of the Reagan administration, died Friday at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center of kidney failure, said her former husband, Joseph Gallagher. She was 58. Her daily astrology columns appeared in nearly 200 newspapers, including the L.A. Times, New York Daily News. In 88, she was linked to the Reagan White House after former Chief of Staff Donald T. Reagan wrote in his book that Nancy Reagan consulted astrologers. Remember that? Of course we do. They would spend a lot of time stargazing. Jillson contended she advised Reagan campaign aides to select George Herbert Walker Bush as Reagan's running mate in 80. She also said she spent a lot of time at the White House after the March 81 assassination attempt on the president. So there you go. Rodney Dangerfield's dead. Joyce Jillson is dead.
I'm dying over here.
A lot of that crap going around. Here's yesterday's poll result. Who's your all-time favorite Canadian celebrity? John Candy, 274. Jim Carrey, 137. Mike Myers, 127. Neil Young, 116. Bill Shatner got 100. Leslie Nielsen, 96. Phil Hartman, 77. Michael J. Fox, 66. Pamela Anderson, 59. Shania Twain, 55. Oh, I can't believe that Pam Anderson beat out Shania Twain. Does that make you want to puke?
Yeah, it does.
I'm asking the wrong guy. I know already.
Ask Josh.
Dan Aykroyd, 42. Geddy Lee, 28. Avril Lavigne, 27. Dan Aykroyd's on there twice. Oh, I see. So we got 42 and 26. So add them together, we got 68. Wayne Gretzky, 21. Katie Lang, 21. Donald Sutherland, Burton Cummings each had 20. Raymond Burr, she had 19. Celine Dion, 17. Martin Short, 16. Anne Murray, he had 15. Norm Macdonald, 14. Gordon and his Lightfoot, 14. Keeper Sutherland, 13. 9 for Rich Little. Don Cherry, 8. See, I put grapes on there. What the hell? Oh, jeez.
I told him to.
Why?
To be funny.
It's not... Tom Green, 8. Alanis Morissette, 8. Brian Adams and Howie Mandel and Lauren Green each had 7. Monty Hall, 5. Christopher Plummer, 4. And Lauren Michaels had 3 out of nearly 1,500 vote on yesterday's poll, which should have gone down at 10:30 last night. That should have been the end of that. But unfortunately, it wasn't because, again, Eric just can't get his act together. Let me say it again, Eric, just in case you forgot that George told you this morning. 10:30 on Friday night, after the next Bush-Cheney debate. Bush-Kerry debate.
An ally.
And we'll be doing that again. So no excuses, no giving a song and dance. Whoa, I didn't check my email. Whoa, I was out at the Parliament House again. Whoa. Our beaded curtain today, Angela Lindvall, born January 14th, 1979, in Midwest City, Oklahoma. Model actress. She was in DKNY Road Stories. I don't think we can say that, DKNY.
Not anymore.
New York Stories and CQ. And that's basically, she hasn't done a lot of acting, but she's a model, and she's lovely, and she's right there at a beaded curtain if you want to take a puke at that. Also, let me just give you a little bit of a pointer. If you want to really have a lot of fun with that great new thing we got on our website with the Bush and Tony Blair pictures, you need to, put your thing on it. Put your mouse, your cursor on it, and, move their nose around it. And, of course, in the case of Bush, just put the $ sign on his nose and watch how his nose follows the money. It's a beautiful thing. Okay, now here's what we got so far in our poll. Then we'll get to the Stern stuff. Stern is leaving Infinity. Didn't tell him, so according to the story, didn't say nothing to him before the show, before his show. Didn't you find that a little bit bizarre?
No.
Who won last night's debate? John Edwards, 235, 46.8%. I noticed in the Sun Sentinel, Cheney kicked ass, which means either they got a lot of freefers on there or else... Edwards did worse than I thought. I thought it was just ponderous. Edwards, 235, 46.8%. It was a draw, 96, 19.1%. Cheney, 71, 14.1%. He was at about 10% all morning until the Freepers hopped on us, but that's okay. Didn't watch, 52, 10.3%. It was coma-inducing. That's obviously the correct answer. 32, 6.3%. And I don't give a Schmidt, 16, 3.1% out of 502.
The Howard Stern Show. Neil Rogers, mornings and midday. And sports around the clock. 560 QAM.
Rogers got.
The F-bomb came out of Cheney's mouth. The F-bomb came out of Cheney's mouth. It is wrong, but he's not backing down. No regrets are coming from his mouth. The Senate Sears must have been hurting. Don't ask Dick Cheney about Halliburton. 'Cause if you do, he'll let a curse word slip. He should know when the ratings are low. Keep it zip. You know the paddles must be near to start his heart. Start the CPR, except the mouth-to-mouth part. Cheney's mouth is really getting foul. They love profanity in the White House. Senator Leahy, don't you Pickle on RBT. He showed us his sweet song when Dick Cheney dropped the F-bomb.
11:01 at 560 WQM. Okay, let's Schmidt can that poll that's up there right now, and then we'll get the real poll for today on there. Let's get rid of it. Here's the final result. Who won last night's debate? 561 votes. Edwards 269, 48%. A draw 102, 18.1%. Cheney 76, 13.5%. Didn't watch 58, 10.3%. Wise choice, by the way. It was coma-inducing 39, about 7%. Don't give a Schmidt 17.3% out of 561. Okay, here's the poll for today. I think you've done this once. I know I've never done this one.
What's that?
Which of these things would you most hate being thought of as? That's very poor grammar, but
I've really done this exactly like this.
You haven't?
Nope.
Okay, well, I like this. Which of these things would you most hate being thought of as? Fat slob, uh-oh. Dumb, ugly, uh-oh. Republican, homo, uh-oh. Wimp, boring, short, or a lousy lay. I think that's probably some others that they may want to put on there, but I think that's a really good, which of these would you most hate if anybody thought of you as this? Fat slob, dumb like, like in not smart, like Fredo. Ugly, a Republican, God forbid, homo, wimp, boring, short, or lousy lay. There you go. I like that poll a lot.
My choice is on there.
And which one is that?
Dumb.
Oh, dumb.
I'm a lot of all the other ones, so,
Okay, here's the big news, and I see the phones are just smoking on this already, aren't they? You see the phones are all lit up like a Hanukkah bush. Not. Wouldn't you think that if we had this big crossover with Stern, that the phones would just be, probably blown out, when in doubt blown out. Let's not have any more technical problems. I was here 5.5 hours yesterday, crawling around on the floor, not doing what you're thinking, crawling around back there with the equipment and with modems and with, brother. And with the people from the phone company here and talking to this one and in French and English and Espanol. Oh, boy. And then come to find out it's just like a little, those cards they have, like a key card in the hotels now? Mm-hmm. Like a credit card, kind of a plastic thing. Evidently they have those and they stick them in the slot somewhere. I don't want to say what slot.
Rectum.
And for each number. And for your high-speed DSL, I don't know how the hell it works, but anyway, when I finally talked to a very nice young lady, and she straightened it all out. And she said, I just pulled it out and stuck it back in again, which back in the day I might make some comments about that, but I won't. And bada bing, there it was, it worked. There came the lights flashing on the modem, and then my internet's back, which means I can take calls, I can go online and print out all these neat stories, etc. Howard Stern and Sirius, time to get serious, boys and girls, announced the most important deal in radio history is what this article says. Now, of course, this is a puff piece written by the Sirius people, but nevertheless, they got a pretty good point. King of all media, Howard Stern and Sirius announced today an epic agreement whereby Stern will move to Sirius beginning January 1st, 2006. You think Jay Leno's goodbye is going to be long? Well, no, actually, that's going to be longer. It's going to be like years. This is only going to be 15 months. Sirius is the premium satellite radio provider known for delivering the very best in commercial-free music and sports programming to cars and homes across the country. You see, it's not a puff piece. It's just it's a news story. The world-renowned Stern is credited with revolutionizing the talk radio format. He's the #1 national radio host among males 18 to 49 and ranks #1 in many of the 46 major markets where his show is broadcast, including New York and L.A. It's been my dream to have the top-rated radio show since I was 5 years old, Stern said. Sirius, the future radio, will take this dream to a whole new level as I bring my fans my show my way. It'll be the best radio they ever hear. Known for his extremely loyal fan base and his unequaled ability to migrate fans to other media, Stern's embarked on numerous highly successful ventures over the years while maintaining dominant ratings in his demographic. Stern has written 2 best-selling books, Private Parts, which was Simon & Schuster's fastest-selling book ever, and Miss America, the fastest-selling book in publishing history. He later starred in the highly successful motion picture adaptation of Private Parts, orchestrated the fastest-selling soundtrack in motion picture history, and starred in the most-watched entertainment pay-per-view special of all time. The Howard Stern Show is E! Entertainment TV's most successful show. Signing Howard Stern is, without a doubt, the most exciting and transformational event in the history of radio, said Joseph P. Clayton, CEO of Sirius. He's an entertainment force of unprecedented recognition and popularity in the broadcast world, who's capable of changing the face of satellite radio and generating huge numbers of subscribers for Sirius. Howard's an incredible creative and comedic icon. We're thrilled that he chose Sirius to broadcast what everyone believes will be the most exciting part of his career, said Scott Greenstein, Sirius president of entertainment and sports. There's absolutely no one like Howard Stern.
Absolutely.
And I'm excited that for the first time his show will be heard across the entire country exactly as it was meant to be heard. In other words, without all the, the dump button, the dump jockeys. Greenstein negotiated the 5-year, multi-million-dollar agreement with Don Buchwald, who represents Stern. See, Stern's got Don Buchwald, I got Norma Kent. Oh, wow. How do you like that? Pop Hadjenko, look what I got. Catch my drift?
Yeah, I get it.
What have I got? Buchwald said an important new industry is being developed and Howard wants to be its leader. Well, I don't want to read this whole puff piece. It's just, through Sirius's nationwide broadcast system, Stern will be heard in every market across the country. Moreover, his tremendous popularity among males 18 to 49 matches him perfectly with Sirius's target demographic. Yada, yada, it goes on. So there you go. It's time to get Sirius. Sounds like a plan, don't it?
Sure.
And the lines were just flashing frantically there for a second, but evidently they don't care. They care, but they don't care that much. You see what I mean? Because they all went out. I mean, as soon as I said that, I don't see this phenomenal response on this. This is the headline says, the most important deal in radio history. Not just this year, not since last Sukkot. Let's see. Here's a fax from Frank. The only meaningful thing out of last night's debate was the admission by Cheney that the nation is divided, yada, yada, yada. Okay, well, Frank, I really don't think. I thought it sucked. I thought it was just boring and a waste of time. Sorry about that. I could come on and say, boy, Edwards really cleaned his clock, which would make a lot of the, anti-Bush people happy, which I'm just as anti-Bush as ever. But the fact of the matter is, it was weak. It was very poor. On the one hand, Cheney looked like he was... The first half, I thought Cheney was pretty good. The second half, he looked like he was past his bedtime and he was going to go into a coma and collapse right on the table. And Edwards, for his part, didn't really seem to want to answer too many of the questions and kept wringing his hands like he was, I don't know. I just don't get it. And, in fact, they were both a lot of hand-wringing going on. Now, let's see. Edwards was doing the finger pointing with the thumb, over there, and Cheney was wringing a hand. A lot of hand gestures. I would have loved, since Cheney was so famous for doing the F-bomb to Patrick Leahy, if they would have given, at least Flip the Bird a little bit. That would have spiced it up something. Flip the Bird. Okay, let's see. Let me vote on this. Which would you least want to be? I'm saying Republican. Okay. That, to me, would be the greatest insult of them all.
It's doing well.
What do you mean?
On the poll. The early return.
Oh, yeah. Dumb 15, Republican 13, which, of course, that's a little redundant. Okay, here's the deal. Join George Miguel and Boca Brian 5 to 7 for Happy Hour Treasure Island today, located off the Palmetto, just north of the 122nd Street exit. Stop by for prizes, beer specials, and this week's feature, Aspen Rain.
It's going to rain.
Maybe it'll rain on your parade, or maybe do something else on your parade. I don't know.
Grind.
Isn't that what Cheney said last night? Don't pee in our parade? I think he said something like that. WQAM, hello.
This is Neil Rogers Show.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm calling from Sunrise.
Yeah, let's go to Sunrise. Hello.
Neil, what's up?
How you doing?
All right. First of all, I thought last night Cheney was a grumpy old man and he was going to fall asleep. And then Edwards would not answer half the questions he was asked.
Right, that's what I said.
I know you said that. And then what about Stern leaving? You happy about that?
Why would I be happy about that? We just got him on in August. Why would I be happy about that?
Well, you're always bitching about him not coming on at 10. You're not coming on at 10 o'clock.
No, I'm not bitching about not coming on at 10 at all. In fact, quite to the contrary, since you're, all you want to do... You already called me before the same crap, okay? There's a guy who listens every single day, another one of the Stern lickers, who just, don't want to deal with the facts. What I've said is if he wants to go until 12:45 or 1:30, that's fine with me. It's to get paid the same. All I said was that our audience, a lot of our audience doesn't listen to Stern, and as a result, they have no idea what time the show starts. Excellent planning again by our Brain Trust, because they really know their crap here at QA. Make no mistake about that. Crap is their middle name. Make no mistake. The same guy who called right after Stern first came on and said, well, what do you always build it? Because I'm just explaining it the way it is, okay? And I'm sorry, I don't listen to the Howard Stern Show, but no, I won't be pleased because we're considering this is supposed to be the great lead-in, and now we're working like less than 4 hours every day, like today, 3-hour and 15-minute show. That's great by me. So we're not pleased about that. In addition to which, and we'll deal with this tomorrow, what do we do now? I mean, granted, it's a little over a year away, but now the whole station has been geared and tailored to this whole thing with the idea Stern's going to be on, and certainly he's going to be there for a long time. Well, guess what? When they put him on, he only had 17 months left on his deal with Infinity, and obviously that's the end. That's it. Finito, as of the end of next year. So now they got to go back and punt all over again. Man, I'll tell you, the mornings on QAM just a constant, never-ending nightmare. So like somebody said to me this morning, boy, he sure as hell better get gigantic ratings during this next year, and he sure as hell better make the company a lot of money. A lot of money. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah, oh yeah, he's probably already rubbing his hands together, rubbing his hind legs together like a grasshopper. Oh, I'm back on the air again. I'm going to be back on again, Geldy. It's going to be really great. You and me. Yeah. Here's a fact that says, watching these two guys argue last night over voting records facts, etc., was like two kids in the back seat arguing over who touched who first. Hopefully, undecided voters, if there really are any, look past the misrepresented facts and are ready for a fresh approach rather than 4 more years of evil private profiteers. I like that. That's well said. Short, brief, right to the point. Excellent. Good job. Beauty. Okay, let's see how that poll is shaping up now. You said there's a pretty good response on that Republican thing. Which of these things would you most hate being thought of as? 72 votes. Republican 18, dumb 18, a lousy lay 10, fat slob 9, homo 6, boring 3, wimp 3, ugly 3, and short 2. George?
No, well, some of us just have to accept that.
12 minutes after, yeah, and of course the fat and ugly part. Well, at least the ugly part. It's the way it goes. I'm doing okay. In spite of our management there, in spite of my agent, in spite of all these exterior facts. We got the studio back together again here. We got the internet back up with very little help from engineering down there, I should point out. Nice going, Fix It. He should. In fact, we got a new nickname for Jimmy Olton. Break It. Not Fix It, Break It. 12 minutes after 11 at 560 WQAM. The Mad Dog coming on at 2. We got the Humper at 4. You got your Geldies on again tonight. Oh, boy. 7 to 10 to try to earn a little bit of that pay, and then Eddie K after the Geldy Show. Guaranteed Mortgage Bankers are prepared to help you meet all your financing needs. If you're a first-time home buyer or refinancing and taking cash out, they're your best choice. Guaranteed Mortgage Bankers are committed to excellent customer service. It's not only their promise, it's their guarantee. Call them today, toll-free. 1-800-734-6616. I know you're going to like what they tell you. At Guaranteed Mortgage Bankers, their goal is to build a lifelong relationship with their customers, which is exactly what they did with a couple who moved down to South Florida from New Jersey. Now, these folks hadn't started their new jobs yet even, but they found a house they fell in love with. The couple hadn't lived in town more than a week, had very little money to put down, and wanted to close in 10 days. All of these things. Well, guess what? Guaranteed Mortgage Brokers was able to secure the buyer's needs in order to close on time, and were able to give them 95% financing at the unbelievable rate of just 5.95%. And listen to this. Guaranteed Mortgage Banker sends all of its clients on a fabulous 7-night cruise. It's their way of saying thank you for choosing them. You know, I'm looking at this copy here, and I think, oh, that's why. See, it wasn't my mistake. He's got 2 different names in here for our fine clients. Anyway, Guaranteed Mortgage Bankers, no loans are too big or too small, bad credit or good credit. They'll work with you to get you the loan you need. Guaranteed Mortgage Bankers, call them today, toll-free, Troy, at 1-800-734-6616. That's 1-800-734-6616.
You're listening to Neil Rogers, exclusively on 560 QAM.
Anybody have a heart or a liver?
This old man, Dick Cheney, he had angioplasty, had a heart attack, paddle whack, got him a full tone. Next time he's not coming home. Hey, kids, did you like that? Let's do another one, this time with the president. This nitwit, his name's Bush. He's a hemorrhoid in the tush. He picked a guy who would die so he'd be alone. There's nothing in his empty dome.
And in a little while, we're going to be reading My Pet Goat. That's going to be next. I did go out and buy 2 copies, one for a friend of mine of Fahrenheit 9/11 yesterday, and watched quite a bit of it over again last night. Anybody that's in doubt, anybody that's wavering, sitting on the fence, that, or maybe even some people are like soft for Kerry, you know what I mean? Some of the soft people out there, if you catch my drift. All you need to do is get that movie. Sit there and watch it, and you will just absolutely you'll become livid. You'll become foaming at the mouth. And let's make sure that that group of old farts there in Fresno, that group of 10 cookie-eating terrorists, that we infiltrate their group again, because they looked real dangerous to me. Not to mention that old coot that works out at the gym. That the FBI came knocking on his door. Oh, it's just really sad. It is sad. Oh, and, I'm getting these faxes. Don't send me any more of those faxes about Edward should have said that. I don't want that. It's light bulb crap. I'll tell you one thing he should have said. Yeah. An extensive U.S. investigation has found that Iraq destroyed virtually all of its chemical and biological munitions in 1991. A dozen years before, Bush ordered U.S. troops to invade based largely on the alleged threat posed by those weapons. This is in USA Today. The report will be presented today to a Senate committee by Chief U.S. Arms Inspector Charles Dulfer. It says, Iraqi dictator Saddam Hussein believed in the deterrent power conferred by weapons of mass destruction, but ordered them destroyed in an effort to end sanctions imposed on his country after the Persian Gulf War in 1991. The key findings of the report were described yesterday by a high-level administration official who's been briefed on its contents. Now, that being the case, certainly Edwards and Kerry in the campaign were well aware of all of the contents, and he sure did one poor job of conveying anything about that, you know? Virtually all of its chemical and biological munitions were destroyed in 1991 to get the sanctions off their ass. The report is based on an extensive interviews with senior officials in Saddam's regime and interrogation of the ousted dictator himself. The official said the report shows that Iraq planned to revive its banned weapons programs once UN sanctions were lifted, but by dating the destruction of Iraqi weapons to 1991, the Dulfer report raises new questions about how U.S. intelligence agencies in the Bush administration were so far off the mark in their assessment of the Iraqi threat. I'm going to read that again. But by dating the destruction of Iraqi weapons all the way back to 1991, the Dulfer report raises new questions about how U.S. intelligence agencies in the Bush administration were so off the mark in their assessment of the Iraqi threat. And the fact of the matter is they weren't off the mark. They knew. They were just looking for anything, which is exactly what he told Richard Clark. Find me something. Let's nail this on Saddam. Okay, this is the excuse that they and the neocons were looking for. And speaking of Fahrenheit 9/11, my favorite scene in the whole movie is when that classy Paul Wolfowitz takes the comb and puts it in his mouth to wet it all up before he slicks his hair back. And then he like spits on his hand like, oh my God. Wow.
Oi!
Paul Wolfowitz, my ass. Now, getting back to Stern and his Sirius thing. See, one of the main reasons he wants to go on Sirius is all the FCC interference in his program and everybody else's program, including this one. I hate to break the news to you, Joyce, but I guess they're going to be able to play fart sounds without having them dumped on Sirius.
Serious?
I'm serious. Cyril is a heart attack. Cyril is a Dick Cheney heart attack. And that'll really be something when you can actually go on the air. And of course, now keep in mind that in stories we've had about the FCC already, keep this in mind. They are already making plans. They've got devious plans like our fat-ass governor to try to regulate. How the hell they do that, I don't know, because it's not over the airwaves. That's always the excuse.
Oh,
well, we're regulating the public airwaves, and the airwaves belong to the public. And speaking of that, U.S. lawmakers yesterday reached a compromise to substantially raise fines for indecent radio and TV broadcasts, but they're still trying to get final approval by the Senate and House of Representatives. The proposed measure would raise fines to as much as $500,000 per fart per incident, up from $27,500, and the fines could be applied to individuals responsible for indecent broadcasts. I think a lot of people ought to be fined $500,000 for indecent farts, but not necessarily on the radio. This is a necessary response to the ever-increasing amount of indecent material over the airwaves to which our children are subjected, said Republican from Nevada Senator John Ensign. However, stripped out was a provision that would have required the FCC to consider revoking a station's license after 3 violations, one congressional aide said on condition of anonymity. It's kind of like the 3 strikes and you're out thing with the guns. This would be like 3 farts and you're out. So there you go. It goes on with a little stuff we already know about. So they're looking to regulate cable, which again doesn't come over the public airwaves. You pay to have it brought on a wire into your home, and they should have no business regulating the content on that. And of course, the Sirius thing also doesn't go over the public airwaves. It comes in a box. So when Brad Pitt comes knocking on your car door and says, "What's in the box?" It's none of his business. You're paying for the box, and it's coming over there, not over the airwaves. Am I right?
You're right.
So there you go. How the hell can they regulate that? Well, it's like regulating what kind of bread you can put in your pop-up toaster. What the hell is it their business?
They're going to make it.
WQAM, hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Neil? Neil, I wanted to tell you that yesterday when I got my copy of Fahrenheit 9/11.
Yes.
Right next to it, there's a little thing that they put on, the Republicans, of course, put on this thing called Un-Fahrenheit 9/11 or something like that. Some kind of some other DVD to
response. A
yeah,
a right-wing propaganda response, right? Did it have a swastika on the cover?
No, but I wanted to rent it, not buy it, just to see how they're gonna. It's a documentary that everything's
don't waste your time, man. Don't waste your time. You know exactly what it is. Don't waste your time with crap.
True. All right, I love your show.
Okay, pal. This it reminds me again. Oh, well, I want to hear what the other side is saying. Like we don't already know, you know? The nature of the pills that they're popping and the crap that they're puking. We already know that. So so what are you thinking about going on Sirius? That sounds like a plan to me. I'm also thinking about very seriously. No, you don't remember, it's before your time when, who was it that got fired on the Arthur Godfrey show on the air?
Soupy Sales.
No, seriously. He fired, was it Tony Marvin? He fired, it was the singer. What singer was that? Yeah, Boca Brian. He would know. He fired some singer on the air. Oh, Julius LaRosa, I think it was, I believe. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think that's who it was. Well, anyway, I'm just telling you, he did it on the air. He fired him.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking of maybe firing my agent right on the air here in the middle of the show this morning. Don't you think that would be a good idea? I mean, he's useless anyway. All he does is create problems that didn't exist. He's kind of like our engineering department. All he does is create problems that didn't exist in the first place. What do I need him for? Why should I pay him money for creating conflict and hysteria and chaos when he's as useless as farts on a wall? Right?
He must be talking to Josh.
That. Huh? I beg your pardon?
I said, you must be talking to Josh.
Why is that?
Well, I'm not going to say nothing.
Well, why not?
Because
he's done a hell of a job for you, man.
Yeah, I know.
Not?
Yeah, I know.
I wouldn't wish your contract on Hermann Goering and Dick Cheney.
Well, I'd wish it on Dick Cheney.
Yeah.
That's how much I hate him.
Which of these would you most hate being thought of as being? Republican 38. Oh, I got another one for the poll.
Okay.
Religious fanatic.
Winner.
Okay. Religious fanatic. Republican 38, lousy lay 32, dumb 32, fat slob 18, homo 12. Oh, no. No homo. Boring 9, ugly 7, a wimp 4, and short 3. Yeah, short. I mean, there's some short people that are okay. Like the jockeys, for example. They're all short. Like Tyler Bays. Hey, if you find yourself looking in the mirror and thinking you could be doing much better if you took care of that hair loss, then get your ass to the phone right now and call the best in the hair business, Charles Alfieri. Charlie's been helping the famous, the infamous, and everybody in between for over 30 years now.
About 30, man.
And doing a sensational job. In fact, such a good job, you wouldn't even recognize his work when you see it because it looks like the real thing. Charlie's created the best, the most natural-looking hair system in the world. The most critical area of any hair system is that hairline, and Charlie's new skin-like hair system is 100% undetectable. The hair looks like it's growing right out of your scalp. Charlie's work is guaranteed, too. You got nothing to lose but that big, ugly bald spot because you tried Charlie's system for 30 days.
About 30, man.
And after a month, if you don't love the way it looks and feels and smells, you return that hair for a full refund. Make the call today. Tell Charlie you heard about it here on the Neil Rogers Show and get you your special QAM $200 discount off the regular price of the natural hairline system. The regular price is $800, but you can save an extra $200. Call today, 1-800-321-2413. Charlie's new skin-like hair system is as natural as it gets anywhere. You're going to look better and a lot younger, too. 1-800-321-2413 or online, charlesalfieri.com.
Listening to Neil Rogers exclusively on 560 QAM.
Oh my God, your breasts are beautiful.
That is Mohammed and David. We're going to have a little reunion here, Geldy and I. Claims they had a little problem with the starting show feed. I think that the satellite fell down or something.
Yeah, like your butt.
Why, I'll have you know my buttocks are delightfully fine. Thank you very much.
Ooh.
Now, if you don't mind, let's return to the sanctity sports.
How about a little touchy-feely?
Now, see here.
See where?
Over here.
Okay.
Now, see here.
What, your hands?
Ah, what a sucker. You're so stupid.
I ain't so stupid like they say. I'm the official voice of the Panthers.
Big deal. Why, I'll have you know I made my bones when you were an embryo.
How do you know?
Well, there's something I never told you.
Yeah?
Well, I'm your father.
Daddy!
Son!
I'm an embryo.
Get your thumb out of there.
You know who I am? I'm Mo Green. I made my bones when you were going out with cheerleaders.
Yeah, so many bones in so little time. 29 till noon at 560 WQAM. 5670560. I would have thought that the lines would have been just smoking today, wouldn't you?
I would have thought.
And, of course, what all these people want to talk about is that stupid-ass debate last night. I mean, I'll be glad to listen to you waste a lot of time. It just, it was weak. It was very lame. Neither one of those clowns has got anything to write home about. And as far as his own qualifications, Edwards had nothing to say about anything. He kept mentioning Kerry's name. In fact, he couldn't even not mention during a stupid question that the stupid questioner from PBS was asking about. Well, don't mention your running mates' names, and he did it twice. Oh, did I break the rules? You know, it was really weak. Not as weak as
It's his 38th trip.
The Bushmeister, but nevertheless. WQAM, hello. QAM, Sirius line. Yes, sir.
What's up there, brother?
How you doing?
I wouldn't want to be Mo, Howard Davis. Wait.
Yeah, okay, great. WQAM, hello. WQAM, hello.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
The excuse they're going to use vis-a-vis the Sirius thing is, and it is an excuse, it is an over-the-air deal because it's a satellite, both Sirius and XM are satellite transmissions.
Right.
Of course, the fact is that you have to pay for the service, you have to buy the equipment, I mean, you have to decide to want the service. But, you know, since it doesn't matter to the Nazis currently in charge, they'll find a way to eventually...
It's a satellite service, but you're getting the transmission through a well... Yeah,
well, it's not through a cable. It's through a off-the-air antenna.
It's a wave. Right. It's an electronic wave.
Right.
Right. So that's the excuse they're going to use. But of course, since eventually they're going to govern everything, including cable and the internet and everything else, at least that's what they want.
And DVDs.
And DVDs.
And BVDs.
And what you read and what you what you
that is
do.
Correct.
Exactly.
And who you do.
Exactly.
And
so,
how you do them.
Very important how you do them.
With the only exception being Cheney's dyke daughter. She can do whatever she wants. And Alan Key's dyke daughter, too, don't forget.
And how they can make money off of the oil. That's not to be controlled because, you know, we wouldn't want anybody to get upset over that.
By the way, speaking of making money from the oil, let me take a puke at CNBC. I don't know if you're anywhere near a TV right now. Probably not.
I'm on the web, but I think the last price I...
51.77.
That's correct. Thank you very much for that cheap gas, Mr. President.
Thank you, sir, for reminding me about that, and have a great day on camp. I'll see you in camp, Pally.
You got
it. Take a good shower. 51.77 for a barrel of...
Oh, my God.
That's about as crude as it gets, you know?
Don't exaggerate. It's 51.75.
Thank you, Mr. President, for those low gas prices, man. I'm telling you.
51.80.
Oh, and rising. It's getting close to $1 up, and now as a result, and you better buck up, okay, because it's going to get really bad. Because as we learned during the Carter years, when the price of oil goes skyrocketing like this, it takes a little while, but then eventually everything. The price of everything, transportation, all the produce and things that have to be transported to your supermarket. Of course, the airlines all going belly up even worse than they already are right now. I mean, you name it, man. $2.50, maybe $3 before the end of this crap. Thank you, Mr. President, for your low gas prices, man. We got gas up the old
rectum.
Shoot is what we got. It is pathetic. And you know the timing of this is fine because again in Fahrenheit 9/11, when you see the connection, and I don't know other than that one ad, which isn't really by the Kerry people directly anyway, about all those in a few of his speeches there the last few weeks. Kerry has been making a pointed deal out of repeating the thing about the Bushes and the Saudis and their connection and about how if he's president, we won't be held hostage by the Saudis. And the fact, look, let's face it, when you watch Fahrenheit 9/11, you realize, just like Boca Brian says in that one bit, we were attacked by Saudi Arabia on 9/11.
Yeah.
And then, of course, that morning, there was Daddy Bush sitting there at his big meeting with Osama Yamama's brother was in on the meeting. And there was Prince Bandar at the White House 2 nights later. It is absolutely unacceptable and believable. Just shocking. And the public sits back, yeah, but he's going to keep us safe from terror. He's in business with a terrorist, you idiot. What are you thinking about? Oh, I'm sorry, thinking. WQAM, hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
QAM?
This is us.
Oh, hi, how are you? Didn't sound like you. The first thing I thought of this morning when I heard the thing on the radio about the Howard Stern was what another bonehead decision they made on the morning show at your station.
Yeah, how do you like that?
Yeah, what I called to ask you is if either one of you guys know what happened to your close personal friend Greg Budell.
He's waiting tables, I think, at the Country Kitchen in Hollywood in between doing mornings on some station in Palm Beach. What station's he on?
He was on JNA.
Oh, he's off of there already?
He's off. He hasn't been on for 3 or 4 weeks.
No.
And I know that you keep close tabs on what he's doing, and I just wanted to know if you...
Oh, yeah, I keep close tabs on what he's doing.
Well,
right.
I listen to that station in the morning because Ranieri used to be there.
Greg hates you. Greg hates you.
Yeah.
Ranieri used to be there, and it's that, general information format. But he's been gone for 3 weeks at least.
I'll be
3 or 4 weeks.
Like I said, I think he's waiting tables at McDonald's.
At McDonald's? Okay. He needs the tips, I'll stop by.
I think maybe you see him at the drive-thru one of these days. Good luck, Pally.
Okay, thanks.
How do you like that? Poor Gregory Benjamin Woodell. And maybe it's the fact that this guy called today because he was like the Rodney Dangerfield of radio, couldn't get no respect now that Rodney croaked. Right?
Right.
And if Rodney croaked, could Gregory be far behind Benjamin Woodell? That's bad. You shouldn't want to say that, do you? I mean, I don't... and
he was
I
doing
did hear
so
that
well,
story
too.
from the Bugman about him, though.
What story?
The one I'm not going to repeat on air right now.
Never told me that story.
Hey, go take a powder, a BC powder. Oh, look at this. This is good news, although I was just saying the other day that we never hear any more about this.
Yesterday, right.
It's my psychic powers again, man. You think Austin Powers is good. My psychic powers got him a beat all sideways to all hell. A state appeals court in West Palm Beach ruled yesterday that Rush Limbaugh's medical records were properly seized by investigators seeking information on alleged illegal drug use. They were properly seized. How do you like them green apples? Exactly. Investigators raided the office of Limbaugh's doctor seeking information on whether the conservative commentator illegally tried to buy prescription painkillers. Limbaugh, 53, has not been charged with a crime, and the investigation has been at a standstill pending a decision on the medical records. We hold that the constitutional right of privacy in medical records is not implicated by the state seizure or in review of medical records under a valid search warrant without prior notice or hearing. The 4th District Court of Appeal ruled. Chief Judge Gary Farmer wrote the opinion. A spokesman for Limbaugh did not have any immediate comment. Prosecutors went after Limbaugh's medical records after learning that he received about 2,000 painkillers prescribed by 4 doctors in 6 months. Oh, yeah, prescribed by... in 6 months at a pharmacy near his Palm Beach mansion. Limbaugh admitted his addiction to pain medication in October, saying it stemmed from severe back pain. He took a 5-week leave from his afternoon radio show to enter a rehab program, and now he's as clean, a clean and lean machine, although we can't hear a damn thing. He's got that thing, that cochlear implant, or whatever the hell they call it.
What?
It's an implant. Don't get Joyce all bent out of shape. She's already pissed off. She already hates Norm Kent like poison. Join the club, and by the way, Joyce, you're a backstabber. You're not fooling me. Oh, man, talk about covering your pimply ass. What a joke. This whole company, the whole deal is just, let's get serious. What do you say? Let's go on satellite radio. Okay. And we can get the fart sounds back. We can get back about 90% of the comedy bits that we can't play anymore. We can, do a real radio show. And not have to deal with temper tantrums from temperamental management types. I mean, I'm crawling around on the floor. I'm like 5.5 hours of my life down the toilet yesterday trying to do my duty. I could have just said, well, we can't get the thing going. We'll just take tomorrow off, Plus, I got vacation coming up anyway. I could have done that. But no. Being the trooper that I am, there I am crawling around with my portable phone in the hand, trying to find this and where to stick that and sticking this and a modem and all this other. And finally, 7:30 last night, got it back on. And in the meantime, what's going on? Are they really helping me with this? No, they're just giving me a bunch of double talk while another temper tantrum is going on. And the program director and the operations manager and this one, blah, 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 Well, I'm trying to get the damn studio fixed up and get down to business here instead of monkey business. Too much freaking, just like with Bush, too much monkey business at QAM. And now, of course, the Stern thing, blows up in their face all over again. We just got him on the air 2 months ago, and now he announces he's bailing out. Like I said, I sure hope they make a lot of money in a short time. 19 till noon at QAM. Hey, if you want to know more about following a low-carb diet, you want the best-tasting, largest selection of low-carb foods at the best price, then you're going to love doing a big part of your shopping at one great store, Delights of West Boca. Whether you're starting or restarting the Atkins, the Sugar Busters, the South Beach, any low-carb, sugar-free diet, Delights of West Boca has always been the #1 low-carb store in town. We know that as far as the cheese and the meat and the fish, stuff like that, you're going to get that at your supermarket, but if you want things to go along with that, to keep your appetite satisfied. Things with some taste, things that are really great but low carb at the same time. Delights is where you want to shop. Better selection, and they let you try anything in the store before you buy it. Their staff knows low carb dieting inside and out. So if you want to really get some taste into your life and stay on your low carb diet at the same time, your low carb headquarters is the joint you're going to love. Delights of West Boca with over 1,200 products like Carbolite ice cream, breads, pastas, chocolates, brownie, cookies, and lots more. Delights is open every day, 7 days a week from 10 a.m. till 10 p.m., and you'll find them on the northeast corner of Glades and 441, right next door to Boston Market. Call the Elites at 1-877-LOW-CARB, that's with a W, or on the web it's lowcarb.com, also with a W. There's only one Delights of West Boca. It's your official Atkins Retail Center.
You're listening to Neil Rogers. Terrestrial on 560 QAM.
Rogers.
Hello, this is Albert Qaeda from Taliban Records inviting you American infidel to buy latest Cat Stevens collection.
You know Muhammad is right. Take your head off your body. Got a machete with a real sharp blade. How I wish I had an American hostage. Make those infidels pay.
Also including this classic.
I was on an airplane and suddenly was detained. They're mad 'cause I converted and wear a towel on my head. I'm being followed by an F-16. What do they want with me?
The money from your purchase does not go to fund terrorism, really.
It's not time to get off the plane. Just relax and take it easy. You're just dumb, that's your fault. It wouldn't happen if I were a Jew. Fine dark skin and a rag if you want a detainee.
Another variation on a classic.
I ask myself every day which American should pay. Tell me, who would Muhammad slay? I'm cutting through the neck of a woman. She lifted her veil and exposed herself.
So buy new Cat Stevens collection today for $19.95. Or you can pay with Visa, MasterCard, or weapons of mass destruction.
13 till noon, when you watch Fahrenheit 9/11, or if you already saw it, I'm sure you're going to want to watch it several more times between now and the election. And you see that scene in Chop Chop Square there in Riyadh?
Yeah.
Where they chop the guy's head off?
Right. It's sport.
And, of course, we got all these barbarians over there in Iraq, all these terrorists who are doing things like beheading people. Oh, my gosh, it's like something out of the Stone Age. What kind of people would do that? Oh, our friends the Saudis, they do that all the time.
Right.
They cut off people's hands and they chop off their heads.
It's tradition.
All of these things is what they do.
All of these things.
Yeah, I just said that.
I'd be heading out to watch it.
Right. So it's really good that we're doing business with people who really understand democracy, like the Royal Kingdom there in Saudi Arabia. What a joke. Polls declare different victors in VP debate. Early polls indicating differing reactions to last night's debate between Vice President Cheney, Democratic Vice Presidential nominee, Senator John Edwards. An ABC News snap poll showed Cheney the winner, aided by a more Republican audience. Now, let me say that again. You want to know why? Because you know who does the poll with ABC? CNN and Gallup. It's the CNN-ABC Gallup poll, aided by a more Republican audience, while a CBS News poll among undecided voters showed the opposite. Cheney and Edwards engaged in that, goes on about they did this, they did that, moderator Gwen Ifill. She was terrible. She was asking so many stupid-ass questions. Well, what do you think about your opponent? Did he ever steal a freight train? And is he a good guy? And would you ever go out on a double date? And she was weak. She was so sophomoric. It was embarrassing, man. Gwen Ifill, my ass. Let's see. ABC poll, 43% said Cheney won, 35% gave it Edwards, 19% called it a tie. 38% of the viewers were Republicans, 31% Democrats, rest independents. How do you like that?
Yeah.
CBS News, 41% said Edwards the winner, 28% Cheney, 31% said it was a tie. They based their poll on a nationally representative sample of 178 debate watchers who were either undecided about who to vote for or have a preference but say they could still change their minds. The MSNBC poll, with 1.6 million votes, 60% said Edwards won, 40% Cheney. It was 75 to 25% hours after the debate, like early this morning. But then the Freepers got in there right away. Jeepers Creepers, let's all get on the line with the Freepers and get them on there. Let's creep this poll. And so they got it a lot closer, but still Edwards by a landslide, which is pretty embarrassing because when you lose a poll like that. And, of course, Cheney really, to get back on an even playing field after Bush's debacle last Thursday, Cheney had to have a big win. And I don't think anybody by any measure could say, especially with that last half hour of coma, that he had a big win. Am I right? Yes.
Oh, it was big.
It was big. Well, maybe once upon a time it was big. Oh, speaking of that, ex-key aide to McCain gives support to Kerry. A man who until last week was one of Senator John McCain's top aides is endorsing John Kerry for president, asserting that President Bush and Vice President Cheney have waged an unprecedentedly cynical and divisive campaign. Led by Kerry, Democrats can now seize the opportunity to reach out to disaffected moderate Republicans and independents to build a new political coalition of national unity. Marshall Whitman writes in the upcoming edition of Blueprint magazine, published by the Democratic Leadership Council. I'm an independent McCainiac who hopes to revive the bull moose tradition of Theodore Roosevelt, and I support the Cheney-Edwards agenda, Whitman writes. No relation to Don Whitman of the CBC. The unreconstructed bull moose will run with donkey... This unreconstructed bull moose will run with a donkey in November, he said. Too many animals for me. Whitman had been McCain's director of communications for the past 2 years. He left last Wednesday, to become a senior fellow at the DLC, a centrist or right-of-center Democratic group.
Huh?
How do you like that?
Okay.
I just mentioned that in passing, one of McCain's top people. See, if McCain would have taken Kerry up on the offer and run as his running mate, they would have won by about 40%. It would have been a landslide. But then it wouldn't have been as exciting. We like a little bit of excitement. And we wouldn't have had nearly as much chance for all that political chicanery, all the vote rigging in Florida that's surely coming again in less than 4 weeks. 5670560, pound 560 on the Verizon and Singular wireless lines. WQAM, hello. QAM.
Yes, Dr. Neil, please.
Speaking.
Neil?
Yes.
I've been hearing, and that interference, I'm in the Northwest, and that interference you get in the back is Cuba.
Right.
Right?
Exactly. It's Fidel, man. He cranked up the thing.
No, because I was hearing, sometimes, it comes a little bit, and from the kind of wars they're talking about, and so I figure they are...
Well, maybe we're going bilingual. Maybe that's the new format that they haven't just told me about yet.
You never know.
I asked our operations manager this morning, have you heard anything about it? Well, just what was said on your show the other day. So they're obviously right on top of this, our management people.
Yeah, well, it ain't that bad. I can hear real fine.
Well, if they would just start playing a little Celia Cruz in the background, we could have an 80 share by the end of the year.
That's right. So,
okay, thanks for the good news, amigo.
You going on vacation next week?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, have fun.
Thank you.
All right, bye.
See you.
That was a fond wish.
Right. 5670560, pound 560 on the Verizon and Singular wireless lines. If you don't know what that guy's talking about, there's a little bit of chatter in the background. Castro cranked up. He took some of the juice he's taken away from the Cuban poor schleppers down there, and he's cranked up one of his high-powered phony stations. Right. So we got a little Espanol chatter in the background. So no matter what language you speak, we got it here for you. Oh, it's quite a place. Okay, let's take a look at that poll result so far. Now, I'm really thinking very seriously about that Julius LaRosa deal.
Yeah.
Although Norma don't look like Julius LaRosa. A lousy lay 51. Which of these things would you most hate being thought of as? Tied with dumb 51, Republican 49, fat slob 33, religious fanatic 20, homo 20, boring 15, ugly 9, wimp 7, short 3 out of 258. Just don't call us none of them. Let's see. Here's another fax. Did you see Mr. Powell? That's Michael Powell, of course, son of Roland Colin, that sellout. One of the FCC members came out at halftime one of the football games. I don't remember which one. I have the DirecTV package to encourage people to buy into HD TV. What interest would the FCC have in HD TV? Well, as a matter of fact, I got it here somewhere. I wasn't even going to use this story unless...
you actually have an answer to that question?
I beg your pardon?
Because I was curious about that.
Curious about what? Would you just let me find my crap here, please?
I'm helping you kill time so you can find your crap there.
It's in my pile. Oh, there's Ricky Williams. Do we want to talk about him?
No.
No.
We're going to have to.
Oh, Ricky wants to come back. Yeah, Ricky evidently is out of money.
That ain't
here you go. Feds kick off digital TV consumer campaign. It's one of the biggest technical changes in television since color TV, the digital transition, and because many Americans are still in the dark about it, federal regulators began an education campaign Monday to enlighten them. Okay? This is the answer to your question. Digital signals have snow or interference associated with traditional analog transmissions. What did I just say? They don't have snow. Digital also allows broadcasters to offer sharper movie theater quality pictures available as high-definition TV. To see those eye-popping pictures, viewers, however, will need a high-definition television set or HD TV. For the vast majority of American households, digital television may be uncharted territory, FCC Commission Chairman, the unctuous, obnoxious Michael Powell said. We will not let them go it alone. At a news conference, Powell announced a new website to answer questions about digital TV. It will explain what viewers will need once broadcasters switch from transmitting analog signals to digital and list high-definition programming offered in local communities. Powell was also to appear on ABC's Monday Night Football to push the transition to digital. Congress set a target date of December 2006 for broadcasters to shift from analog transmission to digital. The date is widely expected to slip because only a small slice of the population has digital televisions or DTVs. The Consumer Electronics Association estimates that about 10% of U.S. households, 11 million in all, have digital sets. Last year, about 4 million DTVs were sold, and the association expects Americans to buy about 7 million this year. Buyers have several options ahead of the transition to an all-digital signal. They can either kill themselves, they can take their TV and shove it in the bottom of the swimming pool. They can purchase a new digital TV set, which costs from $500 to more than $7,000. Oh, sure. Maybe Bush, if you put him in there again, he'll give you another TV.
That's right.
Huh? He'll give you a new HD TV, brand new one.
Part of your tax break.
While expensive, prices have been coming down over the years, and Powell said he expects to see the decline continue. In fact, maybe the Panthers will give you a new HD TV so you can watch those hockey games in high definition if they ever decide to play again. For those who don't have cable or satellite TV and don't want to shell out hundreds of dollars for a new set, a converter box will be available to receive and decode digital signals, which costs about $200. The FCC's Powell plans to have 5-member commission vote this year on a proposal to set the end date for the transition to digital to January 2009. The 2006 target date set by Congress was contingent on 85% of the country being able to see the signals. Good luck to you. No chance. So they're going to push it back. That's what that's all about. Michael Powell and his band of lunatics at the FCC. Screw you, by the way, FCC. That's a raspberry. That's for all 5 of you, especially Jonathan Edelstein. 4 minutes till noon. But I'm talking so fast because it seems like we only got 2 hours left now. Is that possible? It seems like we just sat down several hours ago. If your carpets are looking and feeling and smelling not so great, here's the answer for you, Dry Concepts. And don't forget, your carpeting, like I've been telling you for a long time, is as bad as your sink when it comes to collecting germs. So call my good friends at Dry Concepts today and sanitize your home. I've been using them for over 20 years in my houses, and boy, do they do a job for you. And even as long as I've been using them, every time they leave, you just look at that floor and you say, how the hell do they do it? They dry clean your carpet, same idea as dry cleaning your clothing, and believe you me, the stains go away and they don't come back. And don't worry about those scams, those $5.95 per room scam artists, because Dry Concepts doesn't play any games with you. They give you a written guaranteed price up front before they start the job. So whether it's your carpeting, your area rugs, your expensive oriental rugs, your furniture drapery, all of these things, these are the folks you want to do business with. Give them a call, toll-free, 1-800-248-5071. They show up on time. They give you a nice rose at the end of the deal when you hand them a check, and it looks like you had brand new laid right on your floor. 1-800-248-5071, or check them out on the web at dryconcepts.com. Dry Concepts, making carpets clean in South Florida since 1979.
You're listening to Neil Rogers exclusively on 560 QAM. This is Mark Morgan. It's the 12 to 1 hour on QAM.
For the full Brad suggests Dolph fan, let's get that on there because, boy, that's embarrassing, humiliating, degrading.
All of these things.
Miami has the Dolphins. They're the worst football team.
Yes.
They flub the ball from goal to goal like no one's ever seen. They're on the ground, that's where they'll stay. They're never in control. And when you say Miami, you're talking toilet bowl, 'cause they're the Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins number. How many teams in the league?
30, man.
Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins. Don't bet on them, you'll always lose. They don't know how to tackle. They don't know how to block. Their coaches ought to tell them to put Bengay in their jocks. Then they would run much faster and even in defeat. When we go to the stadium, we'll see Miami Heat. And they're the Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins number. How many teams in the league? 32. Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins, the team that hasn't got a clue. Miami has the Dolphins, but the Dolphins have no fans. Just 50,000 sitting in the stands. They watch the game and all they do is moan and gripe and bitch. I wonder how Joe Robbie got to be so damn rich. And they're the Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins number. How many teams in the league? 32. Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins. I hear the crowd begin to boo. Dolphins have Jay Fiedler, that quarterback's a Jew. Run down the field and he will throw a pass over you. He'll never win a Super Bowl, you shouldn't be surprised. When he gets cut, that doesn't mean that he was circumcised. And they're the Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins number. How many teams in the league? 92. Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins. Jay calls his signals in Hebrew. The Dolphins have no defense and their offense is a joke. Like George Bush eating pretzels, you know they're gonna choke. They'll always disappoint you when they're in a playoff race, with fewer points than pockmarks on Huizinga's ugly face. And they're the Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins number, oh what the hell, 32. Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins, now they're through.
I'm dying over here.
Here it is, it's Wednesday, and no Obama Grande dropped over there at the Dolphin camp. I can't believe that. Can you?
Well, what about the Ricky thing?
What about it? Oh, well, if he comes back, if the league lets him come back, he ain't going to come back to the Dolphins. Make no mistake about that. No chance. Look, they could have Ricky Williams, they could have Jim Brown, they could have Gale Sayers, Walter Payton, Sandy Payton, and they still wouldn't be able to run with that offensive line, okay, because they're living up to their name. They are offensive, unlike, of course, the thing we got on our website.
Right.
How come we didn't have any comment on that? That's a
I got
fabulous
lots of
thing.
comments off the air.
On our beaded curtain, man. That is just ass to ass. That's all you could ever ask for. I don't want to say Dick Cheney's a liar, but you know what?
What?
He's a liar. Vice President Dick Cheney said, this is on the ABC News website, not some liberal commie pinko left-wing rag. Dick Cheney said last night that he, during the debate with Senator John Edwards, it marked the first time they had met. In fact, the two had met at least 3 times previously. He made the remark while accusing Edwards of frequent absences from the Senate votes. See, again, Edwards' comebacks were so weak. Like when he tried to, distort his thing when he was talking about 90% of the coalition casualties were American. I mean, it was very obvious what those statistics have been about. And, you don't care about our Iraqis. You're minimizing the effort of the Iraqi soldiers, blah, 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 the Iraqi troops, and you're making... Oh, man, he let him just walk all over him with that. Old country boy John Edwards. No wonder they've been keeping him in the broom closet most of the time. And him small. I mean, when when they sent him out to campaign in Geneva, New York, then they don't want any high visibility for him, Johnny boy. He's not ready for prime time yet. Anyway... Cheney lied. Cheney said, now in my capacity as Vice President, I'm the President of the Senate, the presiding officer. I'm up at the Senate most Tuesdays when they're in session. The first time I ever met you was when you walked on the stage tonight, Cheney told Edwards during the debate. On February 1, 2001, the Vice President thanked Edwards by name at a Senate prayer breakfast and sat beside him during the event. On April 8, 2001, Cheney and Edwards shook hands when they met off-camera during a taping of NBC's Meet the Press. Moderator Tim Russert said Wednesday on Today. And on January the 8th, 2003, the two met when the first-term North Carolina Senator accompanied Elizabeth Dole to her swearing in by Cheney as the North Carolina Senator. Edwards' aides also said Edwards didn't forget their prayer breakfast meeting. The Democratic vice presidential candidate noted the discrepancy at a post-debate rally in Cleveland Park, calling it an example of Cheney still not being straight with the American people. That's fine. Why didn't he say it during the debate last night in front of the millions of us who were watching? You mugwump. God. The vice president said that the first time I met Senator Edwards was tonight when we walked on stage, so I guess he forgot the time we sat next to each other for a couple of hours about 3 years ago. I guess he forgot the time we went to the swearing in of another senator, so my wife Elizabeth reminded him on the stage, Edwards said as the crowd roared. According to Edwards' staff, Cheney replied, oh yeah. She reminded him about the truth, Edwards told the crowd, and come November we're going to remind him the American people don't want 4 more years of George W. Bush, or their lies. That's their specialty. We're lying over here. Some people say,
I'm dying over here.
And those are the troops, of course, and all the innocent Iraqi people that we're supposed to be emancipating and liberating, as if that's the business we're in.
I'm dying over here.
And the administration says, we're lying over here, just like that report today that says absolutely positively, this is the last until the next one report, that there were no weapons. 1991, he destroyed all of them. Chemical, biological, mineral, vegetable, all of these things.
Well, he should have attacked us.
That's right. That'll teach him. Martin in Fort Myers sends me a very inspirational fax here today, which is good. I could use it today. After all the hard yeoman work I put in last night to get this thing all back up with the phone company, and I don't want to pat myself on the back. I wouldn't even mention it were not for the fact that at the same time, simultaneously, while trying to watch Fahrenheit 9/11 again and getting ready for the 9 o'clock debate, simultaneously there was this latest QAM temper tantrum, and this one's on the phone, this one's having, oh, gee, you did that, and then again, all going back to the fact that my agent is a nincompoop. He was at a play last night, by the way. He was at a play.
What kind of people go to plays?
Fags.
Gay.
Martin in Fort Myers said, Dear Neil and George, I'm your longtime listener from the west coast of Florida. I listen to your great show almost every day. Your signal here is a little weak, but with good radio and antenna listenable. It's a little weak like Al Martino's voice in The Godfather. Thank you for entertaining us, people who still believe in a free world, which is now in great danger from those Nazis who call themselves our leaders.
Absolutely correct, sir.
I heard you this morning talking about going to satellite radio, and I was Howard Stern is going to satellite radio, but it says, please go right now. Okay. Even if you were the only show on satellite radio, I'd be more than glad to pay those $10 monthly fees. I wouldn't have to listen to Howard Stern, to commercials, but I could listen to fart sounds, uncensored bits, and the full range of your language. So please consider it and go. Go now. Let's play that, the Moody Blues. What do you say?
All right, you got it there, don't you?
Yeah, it's scratchy, though. It's another one that skips.
Sorry.
We need you on the air nationwide. Thank you again, and good luck to us all, especially in November, says Martin in Fort Myers. Well, thanks a lot, Martin. I echo your sentiments, baby. Let's go on. In fact, you know something? I'd have to be a moron to do any extension deal. Not that it's going to happen anyway, because there's no doubt that Norma Kent has factored himself. He's the feared factor. That's with an ED on the end of fear. He's the feared factor. Feared by anyone with a brain. Because he's just an accident waiting to happen. He's created such an atmosphere of hostility now that there ain't no chance he's going to be negotiating anything having to do with me. So I'd probably just be smart, just to kind of like wait it out, See what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear you.
And then we go to Sirius or whatever. And then we get Sirius. In addition to which, I may be wrong, but it seems to me that going to Sirius is not working for another radio station, right? That's correct.
Seems to me.
Yeah, the whole thing is getting to be really ugly, the whole situation there. Now that we got this Stern thing going, it's just, again, all the publicity now, he's been on CNN, it's headlines in every paper. I mean, the master, he's not the king of all media, he's the king of hype. Haven't I said that forever?
Yes, you have.
I have never seen anybody, and I tip my hat to him, man, I salute him, who can get the hype that this guy can get. And more often than not, about nothing. But this is a big thing now. If this, he says now he's got 3 channels that they're going to let him program, put people on the air. Like I said, I always loved Howard a lot, you know it? Not that I would kiss his ass, but Steve says, okay, I rented Fahrenheit 9/11 last night, and it was great. The part I thought was very disturbing was that the Fox News Network announced that W was winning Florida, and the entire election after the other networks announced Gore was the winner. Also, that W's nephew was working on that night on election coverage for Fox News. That is correct. Lately, my wife, a registered Democrat, has been listening to AM talk radio, Beck, Rush, and Hannity. Oh, jeez, it has been leaning a little toward the Republican side, but after watching Fahrenheit 9/11 with me last night, she's back on our team. She's been listening to Glenn Beck, Lardass, Bill Pop, and Limbaugh, and Sean Hannity. Oh, jeez. I highly recommend everybody see this movie before the election. I highly recommend that Steve dump his wife. Dump the bitch right now, okay? Can you believe that? She's listening to a bunch of right-wing propaganda and the Nazi dumper. Well, I'll tell you one thing, Steve.
I dumped the bitch right now.
There you go. That's it. That's the answer to all your problems, if you ask me. 12 minutes past noon. We're going to take 1 million calls today between now and 2 because I'm sure that the audience is foaming at the mouth about the Sirius thing, about Howard Stern, aren't they?
Oh, yeah.
Sure wouldn't notice it. How's the poll coming? Speaking of getting serious. Which of these things would you most hate being thought of as? Boy, I worded that very poorly, but I don't care. We don't worry about grammar or spelling crap like that on this show. We're illiterate anyway. 338 vote. Oh, look what I just did. I just did something I want to do on there. How did I do that? 338 dumb, 69. Republican, 65. A lousy lay, 64. A fat slob, 44. Religious fanatic, 31. Homo, 25. Boring, 17. Ugly, 11. Wimp, 9. Short, 3. Dolphin just went on and don't have any yet. That's probably, you want to know why?
Why?
Because there aren't any. Not no more. Not no more. I noticed all those people disguised as empty orange seats at the Jets game, and boy, after that performance, wow. You've got that clip, and you didn't remind me to do that thing this morning.
We had so many other things.
Tomorrow. We had some issues.
Yeah, and tissues.
Hey, with all the hurricane mess in September, Armstrong Ford of Homestead has got to clear out all remaining 04s to make room for the 05s. You'll save like never before on all remaining 04s in stock ready for immediate delivery. Choose from the Ranger, Tundra, and F-150 pickups, Explorers and Expeditions, Crown Vics, Tauruses, Focuses, and Mustangs. Every 04 on the lot of Armstrong Ford of Homestead has been drastically reduced, and you'll save thousands. Plus, Armstrong Ford offers more value to its loyal customers. When you buy your Ford from Armstrong Ford, you get their exclusive Tires and Batteries for Life program. That is absolutely correct. You get tires and batteries for life. So like if you had a flat tire this morning, like you did?
Yeah, I did.
No problem. The value you'll get at Armstrong Ford doesn't stop there, because right now you get a free flow to Sun Pass with any vehicle you buy. If you've been wanting a new car but you've been putting it off, wait no more, because David Rich and his staff at Armstrong Ford of Homestead will guarantee you the best price. And don't forget, Armstrong Ford of Homestead is locally owned and operated. They treat you like family. No phony deals, no bait and switch. You won't get a better deal on a Ford anywhere in town. Armstrong Ford of Homestead, you'll find them at 30725 South Dixie Highway, just 20 minutes south of the 836. It's well worth the drive. Check them on the web at armstrongcars.com, and then drive a little and save a ton on the new Ford, only from Armstrong Ford of Homestead.
The Howard Stern Show. Neil Rogers, mornings and middays, and sports around the clock. 560 AM.
Bredem and say cheese.
Celebrity fragrances have reached dazzling new heights. Elizabeth Taylor has white diamonds.
Ooh.
Jennifer Lopez has glow. And now, Courtney Love has chlamydia. The enticing new aroma from Courtney Love's Whole. Surprise the one you love by giving them chlamydia. The contagious fragrance from Courtney Love. Look for the bottle shaped like a... Well, just look for the bottle. Chlamydia.
Available at Smears, Rite Aid, JCPU, and O'Gangren's locations.
And don't forget, Pophead Jenko, look what I got. It's 12:18 at 560 WQM, so also a reminder, join George Miguel, Boca Brian, 5 to 7 today for happy hour at Treasure Island, just off the Palmetto, just north of the 122nd Street exit. Stop by for prizes, beer specials, and this week's feature, Aspen Rain. Now, so here's the Newsday version of the Stern story and the Sirius thing. Howard Stern will be leaving a syndicated talk show on Infinity Broadcasting Corp. for a deal with satellite radio provider Sirius beginning January 1, 2006, and Sirius and Stern announced today. Sirius didn't immediately disclose the exact size of the multi-million-dollar 5-year deal, but the company did say Stern will only need to generate approximately 1 million subscribers in order to cover the cost of the deal, which is small potatoes. That'd be easy. Total cost of producing the show, which would run in every market across the country, is estimated to be about $100 million, according to figures in the news release. As a matter of fact, the Sun Sentinel and some of the other papers are running polls on this. Would you pay $10 to hear the Stern show? And like 42, I think only about 300 responses so far on the Sun Sentinel one. Almost 42% said yes, they'd pay the $10. So we don't need anywhere near 42% of the listeners. See what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying.
On his radio show this morning, Sperm said that as part of his deal, he'll control the programming on 3 Sirius channels, one of which will be a premium pay channel. Right now, Stern's syndicated show airs on WXRK K-Rock in New York. I've decided what my future is, Stern told his millions of listeners today. It's not this kind of radio anymore. No mo. Stern, who's battled for years with the FCC and the religious right over his salacious show's content, will move to the national distributor of commercial-free music and sport programming, and his contract with Infinity Broadcasting expires in 15 months. The deal was signed today, Stern said. Monday. What's today? Wednesday. Monday. I'm tired of the censorship, said Stern, whose show was dropped by media conglomerate Cheap Channel Communications in April after the FCC proposed an almost $500,000 fine against it for comments made by the nation's #1 shock jock. Oh, don't you just love that term?
Shock jock. He's a shock jock.
The FCC has stopped me from doing business, Stern said. Clear Channel, you expletives, I will bury you. Stern also expressed hope that his entire staff, which was informed of the deal on the air this morning, would join him when he moves. Signing Howard Stern is without a doubt the most exciting and transformational event in the history of radio, said, well, we already went through that puff piece. It's been my dream, I already did that, Stern has fought to keep his show on the air in some conventional markets. Earlier this year, we know about that. Sirius reaches more than 10 million Dish Network satellite TV and Sirius Radio satellite subscribers nationwide, providing listeners with over 120 channels of commercial-free music, sports, information, and entertainment. How come I'm not on it? Infinity, a subsidiary of Viacom Inc., has about 185 stations in 40 U.S. markets, and yada yada. The partridge in a pear tree. The Partridge Family in a pear tree. How do you like that? So there's the latest deal on that. And the phones are just, man, look, you have never seen a response to anything like this in your life, have you?
You're right, I've never seen it.
It's kind of like that debate last night, coma-inducing. There's not much going on. Well, that's the way you people are. 567-0560. That's what I said. They're feeble. Pound 560 on the Verizon singular wireless lines. WQAM, hello?
Hey, Neil, how you doing, buddy?
Okay, Pally?
Hey, listen, I'm excited about it. I got to admit, I already called Brad Smart and figured out, what it's going to cost me.
Right.
It's like between $80 and $90. Plus, you got to pay like $50 for the cradle that the Sirius goes in.
Right.
And one thing that he talked about this morning is that he had people in mind already that he wanted to pull off radio and bring with him.
Uh-huh.
And I mean, for somebody like you, exactly. I mean, you guys are great. I love the way you both share a lot. You really do.
Yeah.
No matter if you like them or not, you guys have a lot of opinions on a lot of things that match up identical. And I think you'd be a great asset to him. He said he's still doing a morning show. You can still have the 10 to 2 slot.
Right.
Screw the president. We don't need to vote for that. We need to vote Neil at Sirius Radio.
Sounds like a winner to me, baby. All right. Sounds good to me.
Let's go, Neil. Sirius.
All right. See ya. Let's get serious. That would be my slogan. I mean, what's wrong with that? I've been saying that for years.
Sure.
Let's get. In fact, remember I used to do those awful appearances and sign those cards. Get serial.
I remember.
Get serious.
Uh-huh.
I think that's a great idea. We got the promotional campaign all set up, and then we wouldn't have to worry about Joyce and about, they're peeing in their pants because we said this and we farted that. And again, you can't blame the companies for it. It's just their reaction to it at varying degrees. But the fact of the matter is you got a fascist government there that doesn't want to allow anybody to say anything. How can you entertain people when they tie both your hands behind your back and then put a bunch of duct tape over your mouth? Oh, you can't play that, and you certainly can't say this. Every time we'd say, well, how about this? And they'd check it out with Joyce over there on the West Coast. Oh, you can't. And by the way, Joyce, we're on to you, okay? No. What a turncoat, man. What a phony. Having to deal with all this. See, I'm going to tell you, if I had a real agent, and we were involved with a real company, as soon as Stern made that announcement on the air this morning, which he was talking about it evidently all morning long, from what we got the drift of it, and we actually listened to some of it, as soon as that happened, management of this station would have been on the phone with her, if I had a real agent, which I don't, with him and said, okay, let's do that renewal deal just to cover their ass. See what I'm saying?
Just to have something.
That's right. No, not just to have something, but just to make sure that they extend their what they got.
Right.
Because when you have the opportunity, not only the content of the programs, but stop and think about the difference of the digital quality of what you're hearing as opposed to, this week you got a Spanish language station in the back, and then we're driving along out of the electric wires here on 441, and we're... Yeah, crank up some of that music in the back, and I'll give you an idea what AM radio sounds like. Yeah. Oh, too bad I didn't do that when we had the old compressor in here. That would have done it. Yeah. It would have been great. So it's something to think about, okay? But no, I'm involved in the middle of all this mass mayhem and crazy people and egos. And, I'm upset. Did you really say this? And this is really, Why don't you people grow up already, okay, and conduct business like business? Too much, like I said, monkey business, both in the White House and at QAM. Not to mention Norma Kent. That's another story for another day, that one. That queen. God. Oh, speaking of that, judge throws out Louisiana gay marriage ban. Good segue, thank you. A state judge yesterday threw out a Louisiana constitutional amendment banning gay marriage less than 3 weeks after it was overwhelmingly approved by the voters. And you notice both Cheney and Edwards last night, they didn't want to touch any of that stuff. They were tossing that hot potato back at what's her name? What is her name? The hostess with the moderator? She was weak. Come in.
Oh.
District Judge William Morvan said the amendment was flawed as drawn up by the legislature because it had more than one purpose, banning not only gay marriage but also civil unions. Michael Johnson, an attorney for supporters of the amendment, said he will appeal the ruling. A gay rights group challenged the amendment on several grounds, arguing, among other things, that the combining the question of gay marriage and the issue of civil unions in one ballot question violated state law. The courts have rejected a similar argument before the September 18th election, saying it was premature. It was a premature evaluation. Some 78% of those voting favored the amendment. In fact, I'll tell you one thing, in Louisiana and all the other southern states, and maybe even some of the northern states, if they wanted to put segregation on the ballot, put it to a vote, oh yeah, sure, let's bring that back.
Right.
Let's put it to a public vote whether minorities can have rights. That's always a real good idea. From where my fat ass is sitting. You idiots, you morons. That's what America's become. Edwards did do a good job on that, about how they're using that issue as a, just to stir up a lot of hate, just for divisiveness. This is the conservative compassion, whatever the hell they call themselves. We're going to bring decency and bring the country together again. Yeah, right. He was okay for about, maybe 4 or 5 minutes. If it would have been about a 10-minute debate, it might have been worth the effort. 26 past noon at 560 WQM. It's that time of the year again when the mattress chain stores and showrooms start screaming and hollering with their phony sales events. It's Columbus Day sales coming. You know when a deal sounds too good to be true, guess what? It usually is. It's the classic bait and switch technique. Make a tempting offer to get your ass in and then aggressively upsell you. When you need to pick up the phone right now, don't go anywhere. Just call 1-800-MATTRESS because that's the number to call for Dial a Mattress, where I've been buying my mattresses for years now. Dial a Mattress is proud to carry the best in the universe, Sealy Posturepedic, the #1 brand in mattresses anywhere. Call 1-800-MATTRESS today. You'll get factory direct prices on all Sealy Posturepedics. When you call 1-800-MATTRESS, you'll get same-day delivery all across South Florida. By calling that number, you choose from the deepest and widest selection of Sealy bedding, all available for same-day delivery. And keep in mind, you still get to pick the date and time, that 2-hour window for delivery to fit your busy schedule. All the smart folks around QAM, and some of the dullards, too, even, are calling 1-800-MATTRESS for their bedding, and believe me, you ought to be doing the same. Get a great night's sleep on a Sealy Posturepedic bed tonight and for years to come from our friends at Dial a Mattress. Just sit there, reach over, grab that thing and the phone too, and dial 1-800-MATTRESS. You can check them online if you like at mattress.com, but whatever you do, make that call the easiest piece of shopping you'll ever do. 1-800-MATTRES.
You're listening to Neil Rogers exclusively on 560 QAM.
All the things that said now they can't be said. Janet should have then the FCC went and threw a fit. All the things that said now they can't be said. Hence they giving and John has said, FCC has said, we have had enough.
Absolutely.
We have had enough. We're in serious freedom totally lost. If I say cuddle, I am totally f***ed. Talk radio has run out of luck. Cause the FCC's run by a f***ing. I keep asking myself, wondering how get girls to show their then guys can say wow. They handpick this guy, should just throw in the towel. The FCC's run by Michael Powell. This is the of Colin Powell. All the things that said now they can't be said. Janet should have then the FCC went and threw a fit. All the things that said now they can't be said. Hence they giving and John has said, FCC has said, we have had enough.
Increíble.
We have had enough.
1232, yeah, one little nipple, baby, and just sent America. That was the excuse to be used to send America into a psychotic anti-sexual revolution, a revolution of suppression. They were just looking for the excuse, just like they were looking for the excuse to go into Iraq. 408 votes on the poll. Which of these things would you most hate being thought of as? Dumb 79, a lousy lay 78, Republican 76, fat slob 50, religious fanatic 44. Now what about if you're a fat slob Republican religious fanatic and a lousy lay and you're dumber than dirt, which goes along with it? Ooh, you got Sirius, baby. Homo, look how many...
About 30, man.
Homo, 30. Boring 18, ugly 13, wimp 12, doll fan 5, and short only 3. Nobody minds being short. Right?
I mind it a lot.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah, but if somebody says, hey, you're short, it's not like a real slap in the face.
What a giveaway.
Like
You're a fag, too.
Right. No, that don't bother me.
Right.
None.
No, it bothers me being short, not being called short.
Gary says, I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but Opie and Anthony have resurfaced on XM satellite radio, and a new premium channel would cost an extra $1.99 a month. Also, Bob Edwards from NPR is on XM now, too, for no extra cost. How do you like that? You're a big Bob Edwards fan?
I am?
You're not?
I don't know who that is.
From NPR.
Yeah, I don't know. I know Phil Latzman. He's the only one I know.
No, you used to listen before Phil Latzman was on there.
That's right. When that's right, because you read that story.
They retired his ass because they wanted younger demographics, and he was over the age of 10, and so they wanted,
Well, in that case.
The only thing is, see, Opie and Anthony, that's fine, and I'm all for everybody in the business, even people I can't stand. I'm all for everybody because I'm for the people that do the entertaining and that really get the audience and bring all the money through,
Sure, even if it's not your cup of tea.
Right. But the fact of the matter is that Stern is the only one on a nationwide basis who's really, got the notoriety in the audience and the power and the hype to be able to really make it work on a gigantic scale.
Yes.
And this will only be the beginning. So anyway, give him my number. Tell Don Buchwald, or even talk to Art Buchwald. He's got a good sense of humor. Here's one from Henry in Fort Lauderdale who says, I'm Henry the person at Lauderdale, that did you, what?
I test drove a car when I was doing an appearance.
Oh, I see. Great show, long-time listener. I'm in great support of Sirius satellite radio. A lot of car makers, including BMW, offer Sirius satellite as either a factory option or a dealer-installed upgrade. I'm constantly plagued by poor reception. With the internet, I'm plagued by long periods of silence. I think that'd be another thing too. You wouldn't have to worry about all that sounds of silence. Oh well, we can't play the commercials on there because that union's been on strike for 20 years now. I think it would enable people from other regions to appreciate and enjoy your shows and George's as well. P.S. By now, I'm hoping for the Finns to go either 1-15 or what is that?
I don't know. Football language.
I don't get it. Or 0-16, so we may start over. I guess that's what he meant. Thank you, Henry, in Fort Lauderdale. And George liked the car. In fact, he'd love to have you give it to him.
Yeah, give it to me.
Why? What's wrong with that?
Nothing.
567-0560, pound 560 in the Verizon Singular Wireless lines. We got the Mad Dog at 2.
All right.
Where's that dropping? Do we have that in the DCS about the game on Sunday, that fantastic play?
Indeed we do.
What do you expect?
Beaver is dumb, and they watch that is dumb-founded.
Oh. Put that baby on the ground again. Well, he found out that with the football is pigskin, you know. And it was not a good idea for a guy like Jay Fiedler to be squeezing that pigskin. So he got, fat, and he just tossed it. Yeah, like that we were doing last night with that thing about gay marriages between Edwards and Cheney, tossing that hot potato back, and nobody wanted it. WQAM, hello.
Is Neil aware of the FDLE probe in the Florida Department of Law Enforcement in Leon County?
About what?
It's on page 12A of today's Post. They tried to change a bunch of students to Republican, 1,500 of them.
Oh, beauty. What paper is this in? The Palm Beach Post?
The Palm Beach Post on page 12A. It's called FDLE Probing Voter Forms. I think you might be interested in that.
Okay, thanks a lot, Pally.
You're welcome.
See you. How you like that? It's in the Palm Beach Post. I'll check it out during the break. Yeah, well, all you students out there, you must be Republicans, and we're going to put you in nice brown uniforms with nice high boots, and you can march. You can have those belt buckles if you qualify for the SS. It's going to be great. You're going to love it. Line 9, I think, the first time today. QAM, hello.
Yes. Did you notice how Cheney looked like he was just hunched over, kind of like almost half dead?
Right. Yeah, I thought he was going to collapse. I said that before. In the second half hour, it looked like at one point he put his chin in his hands, and they kind of lurched. I thought either he was having a coronary episode or he was just going to go into a coma.
Now, this is a man that's a heartbeat away from being president. Now, why don't people stop and think and say, hey, just that alone, not just their policy.
Hey, if it was good enough for Willie Mays, say hey. That's what I say.
And, I hope you go to satellite radio, too, because that would be really the best. Because
that would be the bomb, man.
Because, it's going to happen. It's so disgraceful that this is the 21st century, 2004.
I can't even play my fart sounds. I can't even play my fart sounds. How do you like that?
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
That is just disgraceful. That there's no excuse for that. I can't believe it. So,
that was raspberry.
I'm going to go be Josh.
Okay, Pally, have a great day.
Thanks,
I'll see you at
man.
the border.
You take it easy.
Okay.
Take care of yourself.
We'll keep the welcome mat out for you, eh? Oh, and speaking of the border, Republicans say filmmaker Michael Moore, and you got to watch Fahrenheit 9/11. Get to your video store today. If you didn't do it yesterday, shame on you. Shame on your ass. And get Fahrenheit 9/11 and get a whole bunch of copies for your neighbors and your enemies and everybody. Stick it out of those trailer parks. Republicans say filmmaker Michael Moore should be prosecuted for offering underwear, potato chips, and ramen noodles to college students in exchange for their promise to vote. The Michigan Republican Party has asked 4 county prosecutors to file charges against Moore, charging that his get-out-the-vote stunt amounts to bribery. Oh, my God. Talk about a sense of humor. Oh, jeez. We want everybody to participate in this year's election, but not because they were bribed or coerced by the likes of Michael Moore, said Greg McNeely, executive director of the Michigan Republican Party. Moore, a Michigan native, is touring the country and imploring slackers who usually don't vote to head to the polls this year, saying they could make the difference in the presidential race. Moore has made stops at 3 Michigan universities as part of a 60-city pre-election tour. During each program, habitual non-voters are invited on stage to pledge to vote. First-time student voters are offered gag prizes such as clean underwear. The GOP said Moore also offered students a clean dorm room, a year's supply of Tostitos, and a package of ramen noodles. The GOP said it asked the prosecutors to charge Moore, a John Kerry supporter, with violating Michigan's election law, which prohibits a person from contracting with another for something of value in exchange for agreeing to vote. Oh, God.
Wait a minute now.
Yes?
What flavor ramen noodles?
He hasn't said yet.
Okay, because that means all the difference.
Maria Miller, a spokeswoman, Pariah Miller, Spokeswoman for the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office refused to comment on the matter. Calls to more and other prosecutors were immediately returned yesterday. Oh, yeah, that's some heavy fish to fry there in Michigan. God almighty. That is sad. 20 till 1 at QAM.
Listening to Neil Rogers exclusively on 560 QAM.
Let's abuse some more prisoners. Make them scream nice and loud. Get me some wires and a battery pack. I don't care if they ain't from Iraq. Should be used to the torture. 'Cause they're just playing their game. In the past, it had to be worse with Saddam Hussein.
Abu Ghraib ain't the place to be. Prison living ain't the life for me. Photographs of you were sent worldwide. You might end up in one of those naked piles.
No, pictures just came out today. My, but a terrible place to stay. Donald Rumsfeld came to give it of you. Dying, he said, but a criminal thing to do.
Those shells.
Those shells.
No clothes.
On
their heads, women's tights.
They've lost all their rights.
Abu Ghraib, don't go there.
Oh! 12:45 at 560 WQAM. I looked at the Palm Beach Post on their website. It really blows. They got a bad website. And they don't have a search thing on there?
Yeah, option.
Right. There's no search option. So as a result, you can't, look anything up, especially if it's not on the first page, 1 or 2. So maybe somebody's got that story and they want to fax it into us, or not, as the case may be, whatever. 5670560, pound 560 on the Verizon and Singular Wireless line. WQAM, hello.
Yeah, Neil?
Yes, sir.
Hey, listen, I was wondering if there's anybody out there who can tell me why there is still at this late stage in the game people who are undecided voters. I mean,
Because there are a lot of dumb people, man. A lot of stupid people.
Yeah, you think? You know, these are the same people who stand in line at McDonald's and, look at the menu for 15 minutes before they can decide what they want.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, anyway, after all the debates and after everything else that's gone on in this campaign, I just cannot understand for the life of me why somebody who has half a brain can't decide who it is.
I think you just answered it.
Yeah, you think? Anyway, I just want to make that comment and see if there's anybody out there who knows why these people have cranial rectal inversion.
Okay, thanks for the call, pal.
Thanks.
5670560, pound 560 on the Verizon. Did he say something about
rectum
and Singular Wireless lines? WQAM, hello. QAM.
Hey, Neil, I just got out of Best Buy, got my satellite equipment. I'm ready to go. And, Neil, you see where self-promotion has gotten you?
Meaning what?
No, because you're saying Howard, he boosts his ego and his self-promotion, but look where it's gotten him, and look where it's gotten you.
Because he's the man. Well, what self-promotion am I doing? What does that mean?
Exactly, Neil. You need a new agent, bud.
There you
to
go.
Be
Now
out there.
we're talking. That's right. Now you're talking.
Okay, good luck, buddy.
Okay, let me know if you find a good one. Okay, maybe, what's his name is still around? Jenko.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Saul Foos.
Oh, yeah. Well, once they let Saul out. And that was the turning point of my life. Not only his life goes south at that point, but that was the end of my career. I mean, I'm doing fairly well, but I could have been a contender, baby. This show could have been something. All of us, you and me, and even little Josh there, we could all been making millions.
Right. Don't forget Boca Brian.
And of course, Boca Brian. He could be even retire his bald spot.
He could actually afford to buy a car.
Right, and a hairpiece besides that silly ass Marilyn Monroe wig he's wearing or whatever that thing is. Rita Hayworth. Yeah, we could, but it's just, when you're dealing with a guy who thinks he's something that he's not and who was worried about his own ratings. How's his ratings on FTL on Saturday morning? And does anybody at the courthouse listen to Norma Kent on the radio because he's a big hotshot attorney and he sold his Fag magazine and he's at the play last night? Oh, gee, well, how did I get involved in that?
Yeah.
Huh? How did I get involved in that crap?
Yeah.
Trying to be something that you're not. A radio maven. And when he called me this morning about 8 o'clock, No, about 10 o'clock, excuse me. He just barely knew anything about the Stern thing. Okay, now, anybody who's involved, even peripherally, in the broadcasting industry, that had to be the biggest story in years, in a long time. And and all he's worried about is the fact that Joyce is picking on him over there in Naples. You go, Joyce, rip him an ass, okay? And by the way, you ain't no prize either, honey. 567-0560, pound 560 on the Verizon and Singular wireless lines. Look at these phones, man. Are they smoking or what? See, that's it. That was the one. Well, like I said, I know what they're doing. They're busy smoking because they sure ain't calling us. WQAM, hello.
No prize either, honey.
QAM. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I want to talk to Neil.
Speaking.
Rogers?
No, Downs. WQAM, hello.
I had the misfortune of catching some of your agent's radio show on Saturday morning.
Oh, you're the one.
It was soon after the Democratic convention, and he makes this asinine statement. He goes, the Democrats and the Boston Red Sox should have their convention in October because they both, fall out of the race at that time.
Oh, boy, yeah. There's always some baseball analogy. There's always some idiotic baseball comment. I
got sick to my stomach listening to that.
Yeah.
I thought he was supposed to be some sort of a liberal kind of a guy. I don't know him,
Well, let me tell you one thing right now that he is not, okay? And that is, two things he's not. A broadcaster or a broadcast agent. Other than that, he's many things, some of which we can't say. 567-0560, pound 560 on the Verizon and Singular lines. Line 9 knows, though. QAM, hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, what's going on? I wanted to mention that my favorite line last night was, forget what they exactly was ripping him about, but Edwards ended it with, and that's the height of hypocrisy is what he said. I thought that was great. But,
okay, great. That was great. Well, something, he may have a point. That may have been Edwards' best line. There were not any good lines from that debate last night. It was horrendous. And the fact that there are even people discussing it now, just forget about it. It was nobody votes because of who's going to be the vice president. It's always a heartbeat away. Nobody cares about that. Nobody gives a flying crap. I think what they ought to do is all a favor and just eliminate vice presidential debates, like that horrible one with Jew Lieberman 4 years ago. I think that Tom Ridge is a very honorable man. Oh, God. Pretty sad. Dan says the ACLU is having people take over voter empowerment cards to polls. What is it? They're taking voter empowerment cards to polls so that when they try to screw us out of our right to vote, people know what to do. You can get them from the ACLU website. I attached one anyway to waste fax paper, which George has right there. Go to the ACLU website. They give you like a little thing, a little 3x5 thing. And if they try to diddle with you at the polling place, it tells you exactly what to do, where to go, where to stick it, all of these things. WQAM, hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, could you find out if any listeners have like a Spanish language in the background on your signal?
Yeah, all of them.
No, that's the first we're hearing about it.
Well, it's crazy.
Where do you live?
Fort Lauderdale.
In Fort Lauderdale, and you're hearing it?
Yeah.
Is it loud?
No, it's not loud, but I can make it out sometimes when Neil's quiet or something.
And it's annoying as hell, right?
Yes.
One more good reason to be on satellite radio, right?
Exactly.
Thanks for the bad news, my friend. Okay. So there, I have it even in Fort Lauderdale. I thought maybe it would be like, in Palm Beach, too, where the AM signal is weak.
Yeah. No.
So that the other stuff filters through with the 80 billion watts that Castro has cranked it up at. I sure wish that somebody at that radio station would take note of this and start like, yeah, right. Remember what I said yesterday? It happened at W Snooze, so I know all about this when Castro cranks it. Let's see. Tom said, thank you very much, Tom. Here's that story. The Florida Department of Law Enforcement is investigating 1,500 voter registration forms received by the Leon County Elections Office that apparently were altered to register local students as Republicans. What a surprise, huh? What a surprise. Not that there's a big scam going on in Florida, anything like that. There ought to be like a revolution in the state of Florida. People ought to be going crazy about this. It wasn't bad enough that they stole it right out from under your ass 4 years ago. Now you're going to sit back and let them do it again? Do it again. Screw us again. I'm going to play that. I'm so whipped up. Can't you tell?
I can.
County Election Supervisor Ian Sancho said it was suspicious enough that the registration forms were all photocopies, but the new voters were also between the ages of 18 and 24, a group that often registers with no party affiliation. When we saw that all of these individuals were registered as Republicans, a buzzer went off. Sancho said. Most were students at Florida A&M University, Florida State University, or Tallahassee Community College. The office began calling the applicants, contacted a couple dozen before deciding to turn the voter forms over to the FDLE. The Leon County case is one of several being looked at around the state as voter fraud continues running rampant in Florida under the leadership and encouragement of your fat-ass governor and Glenda in the Hood. Oh, boy. Catherine Harris, you're small potatoes, baby. They're going to make you look like an honest bitch before they get done. What a joke. What a tragedy. Man, all you Kerry people out there, vote 4 or 5 times to be sure.
About 30, man.
One of them just might count, unless, of course, you're darker than brown, than light brown. Darker than like a paper bag. WQAM, hello.
Hey, what's up, Neil?
Yes, sir.
Call up the radio station about what you were saying before and just ask to speak to the, I got it one, tell them to speak to the stupid advisor. I like that one, the stupid advisor. Bye-bye. Love you.
Wow. A little emotional, wouldn't you say? 5670560. George is cracking his knuckles again. It's extremely annoying.
To who?
And pound 560 on the Verizon singular wireless lines. WQAM, hello. QAM.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Neil, how are you?
Okay.
Are you broadcasting from Toronto or from Florida?
None yet. Why do you want to know?
Just curious. Are you going to vote?
Am I what?
Are you going to vote? If you're in Toronto, it's going to be difficult for you to vote, right?
No, it will not be difficult to vote. Do you ever hear of absentee balloting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how he's voting.
I beg your pardon?
You know what scares me about Kerry?
What is that, sir?
His wife.
Yeah. You know what kills me about you? Your voice. 5670560. And get a new phone, too, by the way, while you're at it. Get a new instrument. 1256 at 560 WQA. And hey, horse racing fans and poker players, Pompano Park Racing and Poker has just the gambling action you'll be looking for. Just a half mile from both I-95 and the Florida Turnpike, Pompano Park is easy to get to. And best of all, Pompano Park features free admission and free general parking every day. Live harness racing in the poker room was open every Friday and Saturday at Pompano Park. Poker starts at noon, goes until midnight. Live racing gets underway nightly at 7:25 in the p.m. Every Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, the poker room features tournament action with special Texas Hold'em and 7-card stud tournaments starting at noon. This Saturday, October 9, Pompano Park's got a $10 for $20 night. You pay $10 cash, get $20 in Pompano Park money to buy any food and beverage. See?
I see.
In other words, you don't give them $10 and they give you $20. You pay $10 cash and you get $20 in Pompano Park money to buy food and beverages. See? You got it now?
I got it.
It's a bargain. Pompano Park Harness is also open 7 days and nights a week with the best in simulcasting, harness racing, thoroughbred highlight action from all across North America for you to watch and wager on. Watch out for Ray McClay Jr. Pompano Park, a block south of Atlantic Boulevard on Powerline Road. Call 954-972-2000 for the current race schedule. Or maybe Art McElmurray, how's he doing? Or go on the web at PompanoPark.com. Pompano Park, horsepower you can plunge your guts on.
You're listening to Neil Rogers on 560 QAM.
Oh, this is Taylor Reese, and you know, Mama be listening to her angel Neil Rogers on 1-2 hour.
Caustic email to Norm Kent, and I'm thinking that ought to be his theme song. It's a minute after 1 at 560 WQM. Be sure to enjoy George, Broker Brian, and Miguel. 5 to 7 for Happy Hour Treasure Island today, located off the Palmetto, just north of the 122nd Street exit. Stop by for prizes, beer specials, and this week's feature, the lovely Aspen Rain. Here's a good story. In fact, I wonder why we didn't hear about this last night. How Cheney's firm routed $132 million to Nigeria via Tottenham lawyer. An attorney, and this is again from one of them Brit papers, a lawyer based in offices in a rundown part of North London, worked with 3 British executives from the U.S. construction group Halliburton to pay at least $132 million in unjustified fees to contracts in Nigeria. These payments, many of which occurred when Halliburton was being run by Dick Cheney, now the American vice president, helped a consortium including the U.S. group to win a $12 billion contract to build a gas terminal at Bonny Island in Nigeria. How do you like that? As the criminality continues round the world, choking and surrounding the globe. I thought really Edwards let him off the hook on the Halliburton stuff last night. Didn't think he pressed that well at all. Nope. At all. Nope. And as he always does, Shane just sloughed it off. Well, they just knocked Halliburton just to change the issue and change the stuff. Right. In court documents submitted to a French corruption investigation, Halliburton admitted it paid $132 million to Jeffrey Tesler, a UK lawyer. Mr. Tesler's firm, K. Tesler, is based on a rundown high street in Tottenham, North London. Mr. Tesler would not return calls, but his French solicitor admits Mr. Tesler received the money. His French lawyer admits Mr. Tesler received the money, which he said was for advisory and other legitimate fees. Right. It goes on like it's on our website. It's a Ugly story. Cheney's firm routed $132 million to Nigeria, and we're talking really billions here. Millions are just small potatoes compared to the thievery, the highway robbery that goes on. Edwards was weak. I don't care what anybody says. Maybe you like the way he looks. Maybe you like that big chirpy on his upper lip. I don't know, but I thought he really...
It had shrunk a little. I was relieved to see that.
Oh, it had it really?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe they worked on it. And the chirpy, too. 5670560. Come on now, that whole Howard Stern thing goes to show you. The national networks, every newspaper, even the Weekly Reader, man, Reader's Disgust, they all got it. And you ought to see the headline in that first story I printed out this morning, man. Howard Stern and Sirius announced the most important deal in radio history.
Oh, my
Not just this year, not since Grant took Richmond, but in radio history.
Oh, right. Oh my God.
Right. Since Marconi was an infant. As Howard Stern announces, just unbeknownst even to his management this morning, that he is leaving at the end of his contract following the end of next year in December is 2005, and starting January 1, 2006, going on Sirius Radio. He's going to get Sirius, in which case they'll be able to play and say whatever they want. And I'm sure that's going to really frustrate some of the word police types out there in radio land. Oh, what am I going to do now? What am I going to do now?
We have Viz.
Yeah. They'll find some new hobbies, some new people to harass, some new outlets for their frustration and their hysteria, their closetitis. I'm sure it'll happen. WQAM, hello.
Neil, the one thing I hope Bush would win is best villain at the Oscars.
WQAM, hello.
Yeah, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I just called to say, you want to go!
WQAM, hello.
Neil.
Mm-hmm.
I got one for you. I think it's a scam. I got home yesterday, and I got a letter from the Democratic Party saying that I could mail in my absentee ballot. I caught quite a laugh from that because 4 years ago I voted in Dade County, and they managed to lose my ballot as it was like that. So I go, You got to be kidding me. And I moved up to Broward, and I'm going to try voting up here and see if that works any better.
Yeah, well, try it in Broward, Palm Beach. Go down to Monroe County. Go to the Keys and give it a shot there, too. Okay, 4 would be a good number. Palm Beach, Dade, Broward, and Monroe. 5670560. You know, seriously, if you vote 4 times, you got a chance they might count 1 if it's for Kerry. If you vote 4 times for Bush, they'll count it as 8. WQAM, hello. That's the new math. QAM.
Neil, I am so upset. I'm a black woman. I'm going to vote for Kerry this year.
Thank
but
you.
Every time you talk about what's going on with the voting and our votes going to count, I want to scream. Why aren't we doing anything? What do we need to do? Who do we need to call? What do we need to march? Do we need to block off US 1? What can we do?
All of these things.
Yeah, I would say, yeah.
Who's with us? Who's helping?
The ACLU.
When we call them, what do we say? What do we...
Go online on the ACLU. Go on their website. They've got a little instructional thing there to make sure that your vote counts. And if they give you any flack at the polling place, it's got all the instructions on what to say and where to go and who to choke.
All right, black people, show up in numbers. Bring your people. Don't miss out on this one. Later.
In fact, I would jam like 20 or 30 in the car, man, and drag them all in there because
I'm taking a day off and we will be there.
Good job, sweetheart. Thanks.
Later.
Bye-bye. See how they like that? There's a nice black lady who's just foaming at the mouth because she wants her vote counted. She's been disenfranchised, just like How do you like oh man, that one of the opening scenes there.
Right.
In Fahrenheit 9/11.
The roll
where they got
call.
mostly black.
Oh,
not all of
hello.
them.
We just had a power thingy here.
Yeah, and
Thought you might want to know.
here?
Yeah, we're, I guess, maybe.
Okay, well, I'm just going to keep talking. I don't care. It's good practice. And in Fahrenheit 9/11, that one of the early scenes where the members, right after the election, where he says, did we really go through this, or were we sleeping? Was it just a nightmare? After Bush's nephew there and the right-wingers at Fox said, oh, well, guess what? Bush really won, and we're declaring Bush the winner. Won Florida. At any rate, they show the members of Congress, and there's Gore, who's, of course, serving as the Speaker of the Senate, of the joint session of Congress. And he's up there with a gavel, and he's shouting, yeah, see, this is it. Blame the Democrats. Don't blame Bush. Don't blame the right-wing Nazis and Jim Baker and all these other turd burgers. Blame the Democrats for caving in, just like Michael Moore shows there. Daschle and Gebhardt sitting there waiting for the phone to ring. Just kind of like Norma Kent waiting for the phone to ring. Hey, Norma, you're an idiot, by the way, okay? You're pathetic, you're incompetent, you're an nincompoop. But nevertheless. And then Al Gore is shouting them down. Well, the rules say the House rule, and not one member of the Senate, not Tom Dodd from Connecticut, not Ted Kennedy, not nobody would sign on to block the certification of the bogus vote. Tragic. Tragic is not even close. And I love Maxine Waters from California saying, I don't care. I don't care what the rules say. That was great. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't care about the Senate. And Gore says, well, the rules do. And then they show all the Republicans sitting there. Nice going, Al. You caved in real good. Must have been a lot of money in that bag.
Let it go, boy.
Yeah. What a joke. And the mass media, how come they, it's really sad. And he also shows all the headlines, and there's Jeffrey Toobin on CNN like months after the election was over, after they stole it, saying by every recount, under any measure, under any survey, Gore won in Florida. He won the election. Well, a lot of good that does us now. A lot of good that does all that 1,056 dead Americans over in Iraq and their families. Not to mention all the dead Iraqis. See, here's Cheney on there bragging about the fact that we got all these Iraqi soldiers who are dead. Not to mention the Iraqi civilians, which you notice he didn't mention that. He's bragging about it. I mean, did they ask for this?
No.
Did they want any part of it?
No.
They're thanking us. Don't you see it?
Candy and flowers everywhere, man.
Every
like
day.
The little kids. They were going to get some of that candy, and bada bing, they're dead too now, those 35 kids.
Just collecting it to give it back to us.
WQAM, hello. WQAM, hello.
Yeah, hello, Neil. How you doing?
Okay, sir.
Hey, listen, 4 years ago, there was a candidate running for president. I know he probably don't have a Chinaman's chance. Do you remember somebody by the name of Harry Brown for the Libertarian Party?
What about him?
Well, I'm just wondering who's on the ballot for the Libertarian Party.
I don't know and I don't care because Libertarians suck. I don't know and I don't care, okay? And quit looking for an excuse to throw your vote away, you moron, you. Who's on the ballot for the Libertarian Party? Oh, boy, there's a voice of reason for you, man.
A real voice of reason.
Yeah. Who can I throw my... Just write in Dumbo, okay? I forgot, he's already president.
A.B. Ishkabibble.
WQAM, hello. QAM.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Just calling to let you know that the signal up here in North Broward is also playing some music in the background, some Spanish stuff going on.
Uh-huh.
And it's getting out of control, and it's kind of drowning out some of the bits you've been playing as far as in the background, so I'm not really sure what's going on. But
it's probably a Republican plot, if you ask me.
Yeah, well, speaking of those Republicans, I mean, I don't know if it's you, but doesn't it look like Alfred E. Newman and one of the Budweiser frogs are going to be leading our country in the next...
I'm looking at him right now.
The pressures that Howard Dean represented, how can we expect him to stand up to Al-Qaeda?
Yeah, keep wringing your hands there, Dick. Keep wringing your hands. Okay, here's a look at the poll. Which of these things would you most hate being thought of as being? 530 votes, dumb, 106. Republican, 96. A lousy lay, 93. A fat slob, 93. Religious fanatic, 62. Homo, 36. Boring, 22. Doll fan, 17. Ugly, 16. How about an ugly doll fan? I saw a lot of those when I used to go to the games. Wimp, 15. And short, 4. Martin Short would be okay, but just generally generic short, not too good. Guaranteed Mortgage Bankers are prepared to help you meet all your financing needs. If you're a first-time home buyer or refinancing and taking cash out, they're your best choice. Guaranteed Mortgage Bankers are committed to excellent customer service. It's not only their promise, they guarantee it. In fact, they'll bet Greg's life on it. Call them today, toll-free at 1-800-734-6616. At Guaranteed Mortgage Bankers, their goal is to build a lifelong relationship with their customers. They did just that with a couple who moved down from New Jersey, hadn't started their new jobs yet, but found a house they loved. The couple hadn't lived in town for more than a week, had very little money to put down, and wanted to close in 10 days. And the good news is that Guaranteed Mortgage Bankers was able to secure their buyers' needs in order to close on time, and they were able to give them 95% financing at the unbelievable rate of 5.95%. And listen to this, Guaranteed Mortgage Bankers sends all their clients on a fabulous 7-night cruise. It's their way of saying thank you for choosing them. Guaranteed Mortgage Bankers, no loans are too big or too small, no credit is too bad or, of course, too good. They'll work with you to get you the loan you need. Guaranteed Mortgage Bankers, call them toll-free today at 1-800-734-6616. That's 1-800-734-6616.
You're listening to Neil Rogers exclusively on 560 QAM.
Hi, this is G. Gordon Liddy, and they don't come any worse than Neil Rogers. Absolutely. Rock solid.
I'm dying out here. Don't like all the heartburn. Every time I see that retarded dimwit on my TV. He's President Trump. Republicans muscled in and inarticulate idiot. I don't know why they would want this guy, but now he's here. We're screwed the next 4 years. Oh, with President Trump. Oh, what I did to count votes once more and get who we all voted for. It's drumming, stupid heat. Mindless, drunk, and rich kid. He's even dumber than me. He's President Dumb. You don't care what it took. You got him in by hook or crook. But Christian Right knows what's best for you and I, but have no fear. We've got a great leader here.
Rock solid.
President Dumb. President Dumb.
Dumber than a box of petrified rhinoceros turds. There he is. Anyway, Doug Thompson writes this rant on Capitol Hill Blue, which you don't like this website too much, but I do. Pathological liars from 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. He says you almost have to feel sorry for the bumbling idiots that infect the Bush administration like lice. Almost. They've told so many lies, twisted the facts so many times, and changed their story so often that you need a playbook to keep tabs on all the misinformation that comes out of 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. From the time George W. Bush started building his propaganda campaign to justify the invasion of Iraq, he insisted his administration had conclusive evidence of a link between Saddam Hussein and al-Qaeda, the masterminds of the 9/11 attacks. A CIA report sent to the White House last week, however, affirms what the agency has said all along, that no conclusive evidence exists of such a link. Yet Vice President Dick Cheney continued to preach the company line last night in his debate with challenger John Edwards. Defense Secretary Rumsfeld changed 2 stories over the weekend and then changed them back again. First, he said he never saw any proof of a link, and then he said he was misunderstood in the speech where he said that the proof didn't exist. He also said in a TV interview on Sunday that Iraq's mysterious weapons of mass destruction did not exist, then claimed on Monday that they did. The president said earlier this year that there was never any question that aluminum tubes sought by Hussein were to be used for the production of weapons-grade uranium, but National Security Advisor Condoleezza Rice said over the weekend that there were doubts all along about the real purpose of the tubes. The tubes, maybe those were the applicator tubes from Preparation Rush from the OIB, whatever it is. Bush told the American people over and over again that there were enough troops in Iraq to get the job done, but Paul Bremer, the first man put in charge of Iraq's reconstruction, says we never did. We paid a big price for not stopping it because it established an atmosphere of lawlessness. We never had enough troops on the ground, Bremer said Monday at a news conference in West Virginia. This pattern of lies doesn't stop with Iraq. The White House ordered the Environmental Protection Agency to withhold the truth about health hazards in the air in Manhattan after the World Trade Center towers collapsed. The Bush administration withheld the true cost of the so-called Medicare reform from Congress to make sure that the bill passed, and the president's lied consistently about progress or lack thereof of his war on terror. Bush has a pattern of lying, a pathology as deep as Bill Clinton's inability to tell the truth. His pathological lies, however, are far more dangerous. Clinton lied about banging interns. Bush's lies about issues that send Americans into harm's way and has to date brought more than 1,000 of them home in body bags. His lies have torn our country apart, placed us in a war we probably can't win, destroyed American credibility with its allies, and left most of us wondering as helpless as any victim of a con game. How do you like that? Pretty good stuff he writes, huh? Short, right to the point. Doesn't pull any punches, mince any words.
Yeah, in spite of that lousy website.
Right, the one that you don't like.
Right, yeah.
I forgot. 5670560, pound 560 on the Verizon and Singular wireless lines. As the phones are just smoking today because of that Howard Stern announcement. And getting Sirius, going on to Sirius, January 1, 2006. WQAM, hello. Not there, they weren't serious. WQAM, hello. And back at you. Oh, they're all coming out now. See, they've been kind of hanging back a couple of days, but now they're coming out. That's good. At least we know they're still alive. Like I said, that's bad. WQAM, hello. 5670560, pound 560, just bang on it. WQAM, hello.
Victoria Gotti's a hottie.
Yeah, great. WQAM, hello, and the show still sucks. QAM, hello.
Yes, I want to talk about the VP debate last night.
Yes? Go ahead.
I just think that, I hear a lot of people saying how Cheney, just destroyed Edwards.
Who said that?
Well, Chris Matthews said it.
Well, that must make it so then, huh? Tell him to get his mouth fixed. 5670560, pound 560 on the Verizon and Singular wireless line. The MSNBC poll, 1.7 million people voted. 60% said Edwards won the debate. 40% said Cheney won the debate. Like I said all along, it was coma-inducing. It was ponderous. It was needless. It was unnecessary. Both of them, I give them both an F on their performance for a failure.
Oh, I was going to ask.
Or maybe Cheney would like to drop the F-bomb as a meaning. Maybe that's just what he meant with Pat Leahy that day in the Senate. You're just a failure, as in failure you. Maybe that's where he went to school, failure you. WQAM, hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Regarding last night's debate, I kind of liked Edwards' approach, but Cheney, the way he was sitting, he was muffling his microphone.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And he just wanted me to go, aha, idiot!
WQAM, hello. Not there. Wow. WQAM, hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Neil?
Yes.
Yeah. What age did you stop being a bedwetter?
Okay, great. WQAM, hello. QAM.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes. I have a question for Neil.
Speaking.
Or a statement, actually.
Yes, a statement for you.
Okay. I just picked up Fahrenheit 9/11 at Best Buy for $14.
Really?
And watched it after the debate last night.
Yeah.
And didn't make for such sweet dreams.
Right.
Why? It is a lot of disturbing
I didn't say
information.
why. I said right, and have a great day, okay? I think he had a little... What we had there is a failure to communicate is what that problem was. Maybe I'm wrong,
Why?
but I think so. I don't know. WQAM, hello.
And Neil,
Yes, sir.
a couple of calls ago, you had someone that just absolutely drives me nuts when they got talking about this Libertarian Party crap.
Yeah.
And you handled it very nicely, but I had a discussion with some friends the other day, and whether we like it or not, it's a two-party system. And you can't cast your votes for these morons.
That guy was just being a jackass. Now, look, when you listen to these callers, take them about as seriously as you take Chris Matthews, okay, with 10 grains of salt.
But, I mean, you do have people saying, oh, they're both Gross, Bush, and Kerry, and I'm not going to vote for either one of them. You can't. You have to make it the choice and vote for one or the other, because it's going to be a crucial election. It's going to be as close as it was last time.
Right.
It's not as trouncing like Cliff did of Dole back then, where you may be able to waste a vote as a protest or whatever. But you've got to take a stand and cast a ballot for A or B, like it or not.
That is correct.
Keep it up, and I hope you stay serious and QAM here.
Okay, Pally, thanks.
Bye-bye.
Did he say I ought to be on Sirius?
Sirius.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Oh!
When I get my new agent man. Or maybe I'll get secret agent man. Maybe that'll do. Maybe Johnny Rivers will like to handle the deal.
Or secret
Norma
agent man.
tries to email me something that I can't open it up anyway. Norma, just go away, okay? Just take your baseball cards and all your jock straps and your baseballs and all your fag mags. Just go away, okay? Don't bother me no more. Don't call here just to leave me alone. He just makes my skin crawl. WQAM, hello. QAM.
Hey, Neil. Good afternoon.
Yes, sir.
Listen, as far as Stern going to Sirius, I kind of predicted that. I'm a lifelong Republican, but I've never voted for a Democrat in my life, and I'm going to vote for Kerry this year. I don't even like the man. But I like the Bush regime even less, and the far right taking over the party.
Well, he's the buffer man. That's what we need. We got to have the buffer.
And I'm a little upset with the Democrats for completely ignoring that the way our civil liberties are being taken away. No one's even brought that up yet. Everybody's afraid of that subject.
Well, once in a while they'll make some, minimal comment about the Patriot Act and about eroding our liberties, but that lasts about 10 seconds, and then they go back to the other scripted crap.
Right. Well, that's the thing that concerns me the most. Whoever's going to be in power is going to take care of our safety. I'm not worried about that, but I am worried about what's going on internally, and that's why I got to vote for Kerry this year. For the first time, I'm going to vote for a Democrat, and that's it.
Excellent. Good news.
Later.
Thanks a lot, Alec. How do you like that? There's one. Oh! We're building them one at a time, whether our fat-ass governor likes it or not. Hey, Jed, guess what? You lose. You lose. I don't care about any polls. You're going to see there are going to be 80 trillion dark folks are going to be voting, and a lot of those old Julios are pissed off and fired up about the new Bush policy on Cuba. And that guy that, That's right. And the Arabs, we know there are a lot of Arabs in Florida.
About 30, man.
Well, at least the ones in Dearborn, Michigan, they're all voting for. Although, I didn't like, again, I didn't mention this on the air, but we talked about it before the show.
What else was he going to say?
The one question. Well, what do you mean? What was he going to say? He should have said something about the Palestinians.
Political suicide.
And both Kerry and Edwards, man, sucking up for that Jewish vote, man, was disgusting last night when she asked the one question on there. Of course, she was so weak. She was tragic. Man, the moderator, PBS my ass.
How do you do that?
But, nothing at all about, we can't have any more of these suicide bombers killing those poor little children. And, of course, the Palestinian children that are dying over there, forget about them, okay? They're animals anyway. Let them lose their schmuck.
3-1.
I guess is what I was saying. Yeah, forget about that. And then I thought when he was going to start saying something about Ariel Sharon, that fat ass, I thought he was going to actually say something good. And all about his courageous stance of, closing down the settlement. Yeah, right.
Closing what?
Who knows? Who the hell has any idea? All we know is we need a lot bigger fences and a lot more dead Palestinians. That's the Sharon Middle East peace map. 27 past 1 at 560 WQM. Emerald Coast, South Florida's best Asian buffet, is excited to announce the arrival of Lobster Fest. Ready, Josh?
Ready.
Every weekend I come in and enjoy as much Maine lobster as you can eat. That is correct. All you can eat lobster. Whoever heard of that? Who else in South Florida would even think about offering you that? Also, Emerald Coast is serving lobster bisque, Jonah Stone crab, roasted duck, and grilled. See 'em. Emerald Coast is no ordinary Asian buffet like so many of the other pedestrian ones out there. The service is impeccable, and you never leave on an empty stomach there. Start off your delectable eating experience with 6 different soups, dozens of succulent entrees. Hey, Joyce, can we say succulent?
No.
Dozens of delicious entrees, like New York strip made order, as well as grilled salmon. And if you still have room, sample their hand-carved prime rib and their new Thai specialties, too. The Emerald Coast promotes healthy living because they use no crap, no MSG, no cornstarch. They cook everything only in cholesterol-free oils. And the buffet features a huge salad bar, full Chinese food lineup, and the brand-new sushi bar, because you deserve it as well, a full dessert bar, too, if you have any room left, featuring Belgian waffles, pies, cakes, pastries, ice cream with all your favorite toppings, even fresh fruit. The perfect ending to a real pig-out. 3 locations for you. You'll find the Emerald Coast in Sunrise, Sunny Isles, and even Pembroke Pines. So take the ganze Mishpacha, the entire family, or your next business luncheon right now. Take-out delivery always available, too. Emerald Coast was voted #1 by Zagat Restaurant Reviews and the prestigious psychotic WSVN News as South Florida's best Asian buffet. For information or reservations, call 954-572-3822. That's 954-572-3822 for the unbeatable Emerald Coast Chinese Buffet.
You're listening to Neil Rogers exclusively on 560 QAM.
Only in the Banana Republic, baby. Only in Miami.
Your vote's automatically calculated by computers at the GOP. Manipulated this time. Don't let the fascist neocons screw us again. The brother governor that's running Florida never doubts got another man to get your vote done. This time don't let the fascist neocons screw us again. Staffers and clean white faces, a man that you admitted. Let us up. We don't live here. Let us in. Clean white, rugby man. little bush when sure look good. And Coulter snuggles my loins with thought of beer. The Jews killed Christ. The Jews killed Christ. Bush is appointed by God. Back, rock it, can't see right. If you're darker than brown, then you're open and thrown out. Round back, it's a quarter hard road, swinging across in bags. Well, it won't matter who or what you vote, like it's Rich or Bush too. When in a landslide this time, don't let the fascist neocons screw us again.
603 votes on a poll. Which of these would you be most offended by? Most hate being thought of as dumb, 119. If somebody said, boy, are you dumb? Republican 108. A lousy lay 106. Fat slob 74. It would be higher, except most of us are fat slobs. Religious fanatic 73. That moved up nicely, didn't it?
Yes, it did.
Good job, Neil. Thank you. A homo 41. Oh, no. No homo. Boring 26. Ugly 21. Doll fan 20. A wimp 15. And short only 4. Nobody wouldn't mind being thought of as being short. I guess that's probably because there aren't that many short people anyway.
Oh, thank you,
right?
Robert in.
No, I'm not thinking about you necessarily, although probably. But there really aren't that many short people. There's you and Andy Kelb was real short, a real sheep. And we got Matty Bell. Matty Bell isn't just short, he's like Lilliputian. In other words, he's small. He's a teeny tiny little make-believe person. Underline the make-believe part. WQAM, hello.
Yeah, hey.
WQAM, hello.
I pooped my pants.
Well, congratulations. WQAM, hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
For your poll, shouldn't you put old and young on there? You know this thing called old?
I like that. Old is good, yeah.
Hey, O'Neill, could you play count the vote and win the election?
Count the vote?
Yeah, I'd like to know who.
Or maybe you could just sing it. Can't do that. That's 2.5 minutes long, man. It'll kill some of our valuable airtime here, and we won't be able to get on those great calls like we've had this hour.
Oh, I'd like to know who won the election. Said I'd like to know who won the election. Count the vote, baby.
Oh.
Count the vote, over. Count the vote, count the vote, baby. Count the vote, over. Count the vote. Ever since this presidential race began, I've often wondered who was going to win. Some Palm Beach people went to do their voting chore. So count up all the ballots and find out who's gotten more. Those old folks seem to have one thing in common. Looks like lots of them just gave their votes to Patrick Buchanan.
Oh my God.
So I'd like to know who won the election. Yes, I'd like to know who won the election. Count the vote, baby. Count the vote, over. Count the vote, baby. Count the vote, over. Count the vote. The final tabulation started coming in. Then I saw a news flash on Channel 10. Some angry people all together in a bunch. They said they were confused and didn't know which hole to punch. Those old folks seem to have one thing in common. Looks like lots of them just gave their votes to Patrick Buchanan. So I'd like to know who won the election. Said I'd like to know who won the election. Oh, I'd like to know who won the election. Yes, I'd like to know who won the election. Count the vote, baby. Count the vote, over. Count the vote, baby. Count the vote, Count the vote over, count the vote. How many for Bush? Count the vote. How many for Gore? Count the vote. How many for Bush? Count the vote. Are there any more? Count the vote. The messed up, the bandit. Count the vote.
22 till 2 at QAM. The State Department has awarded an explicitly anti-feminist U.S. group part of a $10 million grant to train Iraqi women in political participation and democracy. The group, the Washington-based Independent Women's Forum, IWF, will help implement the administration's Iraqi Women's Democracy Initiative, along with a number of groups that, unlike the IWF, have experience in international exchange and democracy promotion activities, including the Meridian International Center, the International Republican Institute, and the National Democratic Institute. The participation of IWF, which has escorted Iraqi women selected by the State Department around power and media centers around Washington, is the most controversial. The organization was founded in 1991 by a number of prominent right-wing Republican women who act as a counterpoint to what they called the radical feminism of the National Organization for Women, a grassroots group with about 500,000 subscribing members nationwide. Among the founders were Lynn Cheney, the spouse of Dick, and Labor Secretary Elaine Chao, Kate O'Byrne, Washington editor of the right-wing National Review, and a former senior vice president of the Unctuous Heritage Foundation, and Midge Decter, the former co-chair with Donald Rumsfeld of the Committee for the Free World, and one of the founders of neoconservatism, along with her spouse, former commentary editor Norman Podhoretz. Undersecretary of State for Global Affairs Paula Dobriansky, who announced the grant at a press briefing last week, also served on IWF's Board of Advisors. Talk about an inside deal. The IWF represents a small group of right-wing wheeler-dealers inside the Washington Beltway, said Eleanor Smeal, president of the Feminist Majority Foundation. Well, it just goes on. It's par for the course. It's typical, the anti-human. And let me ask you something, and hopefully tomorrow night is when it's going to come up. Did you hear anything last night about stem cell research in the vice presidential debate? No. Didn't hear a word about that? No. Oh, but there's the audience reaction.
Government should sanction or approve or
We've got those little things, the little rods hooked up to their genitals. Oh, look at that.
That's been an issue.
Oh, the approval went way up there when he said, oh, my fag daughter, she's okay in my book. Something like that. Isn't that what he said, Cheney?
Something like that.
He said she ain't no Maya Keys or Minosaurus. 5670560, pound 560 on the Verizon and Singular Wireless lines. WQAM, hello.
Is this Neil Rogers?
Speaking.
Hey, Neil. Good day, sir.
Good day.
Thank you for the beaded curtain. It gets me to your side every day.
All right.
Is it too late to add something to the poll?
No, it is not.
Dishonest.
That's
for all
good.
the Miami politicians.
Very good.
That's because we're just talking about Bush and his right-wing cronies. Excellent choice.
Thank you, sir. Have a
Thanks,
great
Howard.
day.
And you too, back to you.
You're listening to Neil
Got it?
Rogers exclusively.
Got it.
QAM.
She fakes orgasms. I fake foreplay.
Welcome back to hour 19 of the Al Franken Show. I'm Al Franken.
And I'm Catherine Lamford.
Now, it's been brought to my attention that I don't know how to do a radio show. Well, let me assure you that this is cutting-edge radio. And to illustrate what I refer to as theater of the mind, we have for you today a new Robert Smigel cartoon. Always a panic. Could you roll that for us, please? Yeah. Oh, look at that. Now this is hilarious, ladies and gentlemen. I can't stress enough how funny and entertaining this can be. I thank you for that. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I'm certain our audience did as well. Now, do we have a break? Is this a weak break or a strong break? Yeah, another weak break? Yeah, okay. When we come back, we'll be joined by TV legend Soupy Sales, who will engage us in a pie fight.
That's great. Let's play the ending of that one again, one more time.
That part is. That's way funnier than the actual show.
Oh, wait a second. One moment, please. I don't know if it'll do it. This one, it won't go back over that track. How do you like that? Maybe we'll have to play the whole thing again.
Gee, don't do that. Again.
Once reviled as the man who brought beheadings to Iraq, Jordanian militant Abu Musab al-Zarqawi is gaining support among Iraqis who are outraged over the trail of razed neighborhoods and dead civilians left by the U.S. military's anti-insurgent offensives this month. I thought those were those precision strikes that we keep hearing about. I mean, yeah, there may be a little bit of collateral damage, some of those pain-in-the-ass bystanders who keep dying.
They shouldn't have attacked us.
The trademark black banner of al-Zarqawi's monotheism and jihad group typically hangs in the background of grainy videos that show foreign hostages in Iraq meeting grisly deaths at the hands of terrorists. In other words, having their heads chopped off just like the Saudis do routinely. These days, the ominous flag also pops up in a Baghdad neighborhood known for daily shootouts between Islamic militants and American forces. When insurgents burned a U.S. armored vehicle there recently, locals stuffed the black banner in the vehicle's smoldering gun barrel. In an anti-American demonstration not long ago in the northwest city of Samarra, which is now the object of a joint U.S.-Iraqi military offensive, demonstrators carried the al-Zarqawi's group flag in broad daylight through public streets for the first time. What is that?
CD player?
Well, I like that. Maybe I better move that thing. Many Iraqis explain the fledgling support for al-Zarqawi by citing a popular Arabic proverb, me and my brother against my cousin, me and my cousin against the stranger. The banners... You're doing that.
Yeah, I'm doing that.
Idiot. The banners are a reaction to what the Americans did and what they're still doing in Fallujah and Samarra with bombings and killings, said Sheikh Hassan al-Nimi of the Muslim Scholars Association, a conservative Sunni Muslim group that opposes the American presence in Iraq. Why not have foreign fighters here? When the Americans come, they didn't come alone. They brought their allies. Why is it a crime against us if other Arabs stand with Iraqis? They be our brothers, he said. He said, they be our brothers. How do you like that? We're getting to them. And speaking of that, speaking of some brothers, Ricky Williams is in the news again. Apparently infused with a new passion for football or need for new income, retired running back Ricky Williams has petitioned the National Football League for a hearing to determine his status as a first step toward returning to the game. What do you say about and Ricky Williams? The petition came in the form of a letter from the agency that represents Williams. Agent Lee Steinberg did not immediately return phone calls yesterday to the Herald. But Steinberg told ESPN the letter is the first step in Ricky showing interest in playing football again. Doesn't this make you want to puke?
Yeah, whatever.
Who gives a crap? Just smoke your big fat one and get out of our face already, will you?
Makes me want to sleep.
Ricky has made his tour around the world and taken, kind of like the debate last night. Ricky has made his tour around the world and taken his time away, Steinberg said, and now has realized he has a real passion for football. Give me the ball, give me the ball, give me the ball. NFL spokesman Greg Aiello confirmed that the former Dolphins players requested the hearing to clarify his playing status, but wouldn't comment any further. No date for any hearings been set. Williams in Los Angeles has a self-imposed 2-week deadline for getting a response from the league. After that, he intends to return overseas and continue smoking the good gun. A Williams family source said last night that Williams is being especially motivated by his desire to overcome the $8.6 million judgment that the Dolphins won when the arbitrator ruled Williams breached his contract. The source said Williams doesn't have the liquid assets to repay the money and still provide for his family. Returning to the NFL is one way to acquire the assets. He wants to get his assets back. Before Williams can return to the field, he must clarify his status left foggy by his alleged multiple drug test failures and contractual problems with the Dolphins. Boy, they got problems with everybody, you know what? Williams has told the Herald he failed 3 drug tests because of marijuana use. Under league rules, a player in the NFL's drug program faces a suspension if he returns in the same calendar year he announces his retirement. The suspension would span between 4 games in 1 season. If he returns after a year, he'd face a lesser suspended sentence. Aren't you concerned about? That's the big news today, baby. Ricky Williams may be playing it again. Anybody care?
No. Neil Rogers, mornings midday, and sports around the clock. 560 QAM.
Who's going to give Ricky a blow? Ricky Williams said goodbye to football. No. Oh, Ricky, how can you do this? I want to stroke your legs and sniff your crack with my greasy nose. But you'd rather smoke a spliff. Now I'm pulling up my lights for the season. You dash my hopes of manly bliss. Tears well up in my eyes for no apparent reason. As I bust another dish. There's no AC in my trailer, and then I find you're no longer here. You validate my life as a failure, and broke the hearts of all the sports queers. I don't want to fantasize about another job. It's your toes I want in my mouth on behalf of undersized fans who like sport hole radio. Don't leave us like this. Now only Shaq's thumbs we can kiss.
Rectum.
That's it. 157 at 560. See, we got a bit for everything, you know. It just amazes me.
A little bit.
We got a little bit or big bit. Now, is this going to be a weak break or a strong break? Oh, man. How can we compete with a show like that, you know what? I think we got big tourists on the horizon with Al Franken on the air. He is just dynamic. And he is. And that Catherine, what's her name again? Catherine Lanford? Oh, she is, from what I'm hearing, a real piece. Anyway, don't forget, speaking of a real piece, Joy and George, Miguel, Boca, Brian, 5 to 7, Happy Hour, Treasure Island today, like just about every Wednesday.
Right. No projectiles today, though. We don't think.
Well, you never know.
You never do.
Never know what might be floating through the air. Or anyway, I'm not going to say it. Located off the Palmetto, just north of the 122nd Street exit. Stop by for prizes, beer specials, and this week's feature, Aspen Rain. Which of these things would you most hate being thought of as? Now, what are the one we just put on there? Dishonest. Already got 6. See, that's a good one. Yeah, excellent job, sir. I'm glad we got that on before the end of the show, you know? Because nobody likes a liar. Nobody likes people who are like chronic liars who have no credibility no matter what they tell you. If they tell you it's Wednesday, you look at the calendar. If they tell you it's 2 o'clock, you look at your watch. If they tell you the sun is shining, you look out the window. You know what I'm talking about?
What are you talking about?
Professional compulsive BS artists, liars. In fact, I'd like to change my vote. Man. Anyway, dumb, 133. Nobody wants to be thought of as dumb, although they're an awful lot. Dumb, stupid, idiotic, moronic. Republican, 114. Oh, I just said it. A lousy lay, 113. Fat slob, 80. That's me. Although, I don't know, it's so relative now, I don't really even think I'm a fat slob. Fat, yes, but a fat slob, I don't know. Well, no. Slob. See, fat, yes, slob, yes, but not necessarily fat slob.
See, when I think of slob, I think of very, people who don't bathe, have a lot of food on the front of their shirt, that kind of thing.
People who are fat and just have, like, wear T-shirts that are like 2 sizes too small.
That's not a slob.
What?
The fact that, at least according to you, you don't wear trendy clothing.
Fat slob 80. What do you mean according to me? You're the one that's always knocking my shirts. There's somebody there, no matter what you're... I'm wearing a lovely shirt today, by the way. It's lovely.
Yeah, fine shirts, even that green
Canadians have this habit of saying lovely, and they don't realize it's kind of faggy. Of course, most Canadians are. Fat slob 80. Religious fanatic 78. Homo 46. See? Boring 29. Doll fan 25. Don't call me no doll fan, which I'm not. Ugly 22. My team's undefeated 18 in a row. Wimp 17. Dishonest 7. Liar, liar. Your thing's on fire. Short 4 and old. Uh-oh. Old. Ancient. Old fart. Won't be long. Them Social Security checks are going to start coming in. I can get my senior citizen discounts. I'm going to start taking my Metamucil every day.
Bye, bye, bye.
Won't be long.
Miami, Fort Lauderdale.
All right.